He pulled out like a wad of cash, probably like 2K or something.
Why didn't you grab and run?
Because with my luck, there would have been 7,000 police officers watching me with binoculars.
Oh yeah, you're white.
There was a fear it was going to skyrocket because crude oil had shot up so high.
Should have got me to do it, dog.
Of the Strait of
I would
Hormuz. And then Trump comes out
been
and
given
says,
a slap
the
on the
war's
wrist.
basically over. They got no Navy, they got no Air Force, they got no missiles.
Well, if you only took $899, then technically they wouldn't even be allowed to arrest you.
I can't believe
well, I don't know if that's here, but basically it is. Are you getting on the game now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on it right now. What dog?
Left,
Can you turn that down a bit?
We're looking like it's pretty done. He said that the original timeline for 4 weeks, actually, we're going much more quickly than that. And then instantly the market turned around and the price of crude oil dropped 30%. The biggest drop, the fastest drop we've seen, I think, ever.
Tell me when you're on
Just
it.
because Trump said, I think I'm done. So this could be nearing the end of the war, or however you want to describe it. But the interesting thing is,
oh, you can
the Ayatollah's son reportedly survived an assassination attempt. However, while the reports say that he was wounded, there are rumors circulating that he actually didn't make it. We don't know for sure. There's no official confirmation on this, but that is the rumor right now. It's coming home. There's a really crazy story, guys.
I guess I'll do my workout tomorrow.
Islamic extremists lobbed
I'm fucking tired.
IEDs, improvised explosive devices, at protesters in New York City. Now that in of itself is absolutely insane.
You know what happened, dude?
You add on top the depravity of
I'm
the
not even
media,
embarrassed about
who
it.
has repeatedly
I fucking
misled the public
ate.
by framing this as though.
So, at the office, I had one of those muffins that I made, and usually I microwave them for 1 minute, and it's perfect. It's hot. It's good to go. Yeah. But it was towards the end of the day, so I'm just like, okay, I'll heat it up and then I'll eat it on the train home. So I heated it up for 2 minutes, so it stayed hot for longer. So by the time I got to the train, it would still be warm. And when I took it out, it was like a brick. I couldn't bite into it.
Well, yeah, that's,
so I fucked up.
That's because if you heat it with by a microwave and then allow it to cool down, it's going to cool down worse because it's already been reheated.
Yeah.
Especially,
so
it being a microwave is a unnatural way of reheating.
So yeah, by the time I got home, I got another one of the muffins out of the fridge, heated it up for a minute, and then ate that with like some other food. I was just like, okay, I'll wait for this to digest, and then one thing led to another, and I just fucking jerked off. I was basically edging. I was like, okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna do it so I'm like very energetic and alert. But yeah, dude, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just felt dead. I felt dead inside. I couldn't fucking move.
What I've learned is don't. While you were talking, I had the word in my head. Don't have too much confidence in yourself that you can, do what you plan, because then you'll just fuck yourself up. At least in my experience.
No.
Nice.
Do you have the designator?
Yep.
Alright, if you see the helicopter or whatever, or any tanks, I don't care.
Helicopter. He's over our spawn.
Yeah. I actually wonder if it matters for the rocket launcher I have. But...
Well, I think if something's painted, you shoot at tanks. health doesn't regen. He did 35 damage to me and he fucking killed me. Wow, I just got fucking negative bulleted by that thing.
The protesters planted bombs at Mamdani's house. It's ridiculous seeing these headlines they're putting out saying suspicious devices found near Mayor Mamdani's home. When the real story is, with video, Islamic extremists threw nail bombs at protesters. Absolutely insane stuff.
Dead?
We're going to talk about all of that, my friends. Before we do, we got a great sponsor for you guys. It is Venice.ai. Check it out, my friends. Sam Altman,
I wish this map had
ChatGPT will get to know you over your life. ChatGPT's got the former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now. Edward Snowden called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. Make sure you guys go to Venice.ai. Now, Alexa, I don't want to say this name, but your Amazon device listens to us, recommends products based on our conversations, Meta retargets us based on our browsing and engagement history. So why would we assume AI is going to be any different?
Well, I tried to fucking heal. This guy doesn't know how to drive a tank.
Social media companies were doing with our data in the last decade. Are we really going to make the same mistake again? Even OpenAI has hinted they may require users to prevent a government-issued ID. Venice utilizes
I chose the wrong rocket launcher.
Text code and image generation to your web browser. No downloads, no installation of anything. Private and permissionless.
Oh,
spy on you or
either the Javelin or the Stinger, like you said, but I chose the one that's fucking bullshit. Not the RPG, the other one.
Need to give up our privacy to use it. Get their Pro plan, which unlocks the full platform and all features, including PDF uploads for summaries or insights.
I forgot to change my loadout.
Safe mode for unhindered image generation. The ability to change how Venice interacts with you by modifying the
There's
system.
somebody inside this tent thing here.
You can go to Venice.ai/Tim. Use code Tim. Do it right now. Check out Venice for sponsoring the show. You guys rock. And don't forget, my friends, to smash the like button. Share the show with everyone you know. If every single person who's watching right now took the URL and just shared it across every social media platform, we would be the biggest show on the planet. That would be awesome. So if you do like the work we do, please consider sharing, subscribing, and liking. Aside from that, joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more, we have Brandon Herrera.
Damn, dude.
It's going great. It's great to see you, Congressman-elect.
Fucking shit didn't hit up.
We're not out of the woods yet, but we completed the one goal that we had in the very beginning, which was getting the Rhino Tony Gonzalez out of office. Pretty proud.
And so you are not yet the actual Congressman-elect. You won the primary, and now you're going to the big race in November. But it's a red district, so you're considered to be a heavy favorite.
Oh, there's a tank!
Who are you? What do you do?
Well, so outside of that, my day job.
Oh, there's two tanks.
District 23. Firearm manufacturer, firearm designer, do YouTube, own a host of different businesses that belong to business partners. The biggest thing was I just was very unhappy with the actions of my congressman and the things he was voting on, and so that was my primary issue with him. So I ran against him last cycle, narrowly lost by 400 votes. Hoped he would be better. He clearly wasn't, and so I decided to run against him again, where for the first time in his political career, he lost.
I think it has to do with a lot of factors. You came really close the first time around by within a couple hundred votes, I think, is the reporting. This time around, aside from the fact that people already were questioning, you know, his choices, we got this other story in which people really questioned his choices about this affair and everything like that. So we'll get into this later on for sure. But, you know, in all honesty, I'm more interested in what you want to bring, like your story about what you want to bring to Congress, which is particularly dysfunctional. So, oh boy, that'll be fun.
How the second I start to run is when the tank comes up.
Yeah, I always joked on the campaign trail. If I ran my businesses the way that Congress runs.
Dude, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, isn't that funny how that works, huh? All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's just jump into the news here. We've got this from Mediaite. Trump declares Iran war is nearly over. The war is very nearly complete. It's very complete, pretty much. He said pretty much. In a phone interview, President Trump told me the war could be over.
Can't even get out of spawn, man.
The war is very complete, pretty much. They have no Navy, no communications. They've got no Air Force. He added that the U.S. is very far ahead of its initial 4 to 5 week estimated time frame. Now, I don't know what that really means for Trump to be like, it's very pretty much complete, but you take a look at oil prices.
Bullshit,
Donald Trump
dude.
comes out and says, I think we're done. Oil drops from 97, it was over 100 before, down to 84. Just a few hours later. So it's looking like the market is reacting to this may be the end right now. And I will stress this. Just a few hours later. So it's looking like the market is reacting to this may be the end right now. And I will stress this. Based on my conversations with people in the Beltway, a lot of these fat cats and bigwigs, the big money, they've been acting as though they fully expect this to be wrapped up in a couple of weeks. Not an exaggeration. So it really does sound like there's people putting their money where their mouths are. But I'm curious what you think about, is Trump just bloviating, or are we actually getting this thing to end?
I think that he's always bloviating.
Always.
It's awesome. Like, it's hilarious. Look, if this actually
What fucking game mode is this?
Up, you know, say
I have no clue.
a fast timeline.
What the
between
fuck
these
is this?
and the U.S. can make a legitimate claim that the majority of their goals were met, I think that it might end up being, you know, a positive thing. The Iranian regime has always been, or at least for the past 47 years, has been a thorn in the side of basically everyone in the West, all of the Middle East. All their neighbors hated them. They were constantly funding terrorism. There's plenty of history of them attacking forces. Because of Iran, there was a lot of people that were in Iraq that ended up losing limbs or dying.
God, man.
Bombs that they were supplying to the insurgents and stuff. So again, I wasn't for the war beforehand, but if I am pro-America, so if it ends up where they wrap it up in the next week or so, I mean, I think that's a good thing for the United States.
Based on
Comments about audio, saying that Phil's audio's
audio window. But let me just add real quick also, Phil, the way your laptop monitor is angled, your shirt, because they can't see the second word, it looks like it just says, I stand with Israel, crossed out, but then you can only see the top of Palestine, so it looks like you actually stand with Palestine.
Yeah, no.
Neither?
I stand with not Israel.
I stand with Lockheed Martin.
It's a great investment, and I'm not giving it advice.
Yeah, get your American. No, I can't even give you that
I saw
advice.
there's this post on Reddit that went viral where they said, I can't remember who, they said Trump Jr. and someone else
What if he walks away?
bought,
and, like, leaves the fucking
invested into a
plane,
drone manufacturer or something like this, right before the war started, signaling that they knew and they're profiting off of it or whatever. But I don't think these leftists understand what invested in means. They assume that investment only just means like I'm going to make money. They don't understand it means I am funding the creation of what they're doing. So like, if we're getting involved in war and we know that there are enemy countries that are producing these specialty drones for warfare, and you're like, if I provide money, we can have those too. See, they don't understand the point of what investment is because they're communists. So, you know, and Reddit's just basically all communists. So
Is it insider trading if, like, Nancy Pelosi knows a company's about to start, so she invests in another company that's going to support that company? Like, it's technically still insider
Look,
trading.
as soon as they were moving aircraft carrier strike groups into the Middle East, you kind of knew what was going to happen.
I knew it.
So, I mean, if people were like, oh, they're moving carriers, and so I'm going to buy...
Dude, like, are we like spawn camping these
I mean,
guys?
it's
What
kind
the
of like what
fuck?
happened in the breakout of the Ukraine-Russian war.
Yeah.
When you saw
Spawn
those
trapping or
reports
whatever
that,
the
they're
fuck.
moving blood bags to the front line. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that just got a lot more sense. That's not
I'm glad that Trump said this. I think that he might. I never know. Like Bill, you were saying, he loves to trick people into say nonsense to get world. Like, I have no idea what this guy's gonna do. Just please, Trump, spare me. But if they really killed Khomeini's son, which potentially they wounded him, killed him. I mean,
Four, right?
He has
This would be
4
number
kids.
No, this would be the 4th Ayatollah they've killed since the start of the war.
Jeez,
If they get
five
it.
days.
Second.
The second?
Yeah, they killed Ali Khamenei, and then the council appointed his son.
Okay, I've done the
Unless there was there like a vice supreme leader?
because I think the first night they killed the squad.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty extreme.
But I guess if they have the the chain of command or whatever, the line of succession, and he wiped them all out, I guess you could say 40 or whatever. I don't know the actual. But my understanding is that they came in and they voted for his son to come in, And we'll get into all that too, but I'm curious, Mr. Harris, you will be very likely going to Washington, D.C. What do you think about Trump? You know, they're not calling it a war. They're saying it's a combat operation. They don't, you know, Hegseth said, well, we'll have the lawyers, you know, figure that out. It's very obviously a war, but I'm curious what you think of it, and you know, what would your position be?
Yeah, like constitutionally speaking, if you're going to go to war, you need the approval of Congress. Now that's changed over the course of the day, especially since World War II. We've gotten a lot looser with that definition with the War Powers Act. I'm personally in favor of the idea that if we're going to go to war with another nation, we need the approval of Congress. That being said, you know, I don't think anybody wants another forever war in the Middle East in the sandbox. I don't think anybody's in favor of that.
Every day, all the time, forever. No, not true. My jokes are meaningless.
The thing is, though, I really, you know, less so with this Iran conflict, but we'll see how it pans out. Especially with Venezuela, is if we were going to get involved with something, I vastly prefer the kind of conflict where you go in, the entire op takes an hour. You go in, you get out, you accomplish it, you get it done. You don't spend 20 years somewhere, spend trillions of dollars in a war that fathers and sons are fighting in the same conflict generation apart. Like, just go in, get out. Like, we're with the way that Trump's doing this foreign policy-wise is putting, you know, 20 years of Bush-Cheney policy, foreign policy.
You know, the challenge I have with it is, I would say I completely agree with everything you say, and I would add one caveat. There is a challenge, and I think you probably agree. There is, the president does have the ability to engage in military operations in an emergency. And that's been the criteria that they have exploited to be able to continually go to war. There is something that's challenging in that if Iran is really about to strike a bunch of U.S. personnel or ships or something like this, I'm not saying, I know people are going to be like, Tim, we sent all those, but no, I'm saying, let's say the troops.
Wait, your grenade hurt me?
Like, we're going to go blow them all up.
Or is that someone else?
Trump
his
says,
grenade,
okay, we're going to take out their capability to do this. If he goes to Congress and says, put it to a vote,
yeah,
you just told the whole world your next military move. And that is, I think, largely why they don't want to go to Congress, but also how they exploit the rules so they don't go to Congress.
No, 100%. I mean, that's clearly, like, it's kind of like, I think it's the same justification for no-knock raids. Like, I am largely against no-knock raids, but I understand there's certain situations in which case you're like, okay, we have verified, actionable intel. If we try to knock on this door, there's 18 armed cartel members on the inside. They're going to light us up. You know, I understand the use case for it. I just think it's overused, especially when it comes to law enforcement and stuff like that. I think it's a similar thing.
That's exactly. It becomes the excuse.
Yeah.
And then if you threaten to take that power away because they're abusing it, we'll say, then what will you do when you actually need to no-knock raid? Or
it's the same thing with abortion. They always come back to the, oh, well, it was rape or incest or whatever, when, like, the vast majority of cases, like the very vast majority, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Do you think we're headed towards a future of central control and authority where we trust the president to make the decisions about who we attack, or do you want to scale it back to the congressional world?
I mean, I think we've been headed there for a long time. I mean, this is, people think that this is unique to Trump. I saw there's a couple, like, gotcha moments that we kind of got a little bit of a, you know, crap storm on the internet over the thing that you posted.
Which one?
Just, it was the old clip where I think it was it Bill Maher? It was talking about, well, that was the justification Obama used.
What,
or was
maybe.
it Colbert? Or no, it was the Colbert one.
Well,
I've seen a couple.
I posted a quote from Stephen Colbert about gas prices.
Yeah.
Because everyone's a retard, and I know. And so I was like, I'm going to post Stephen Colbert's quote without quotes in it, and then ignite the internet and get really angry. For those that don't remember, there's a huge story 3 years ago where Colbert said something like, gas has hit an all-time high, but I'm okay with paying $1 or $2 for a clean conscience or something like this, because we were going to get involved in the war in Ukraine. So now that Donald Trump was saying, look, oil prices are temporarily going up, and now all of a sudden liberals were losing it, being like, MAGA's going to support high gas prices, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity for me to trap all these libs. I'm going to quote Stephen Colbert, who they defended, in this context, and then they will insult and attack me saying, MAGA will do anything for Trump. And here's the thing, I literally posted, I posted the quote, and then immediately the link to the story. And I still knew no one was going to actually click the link and read it.
face or
it's
something.
2,000 replies of people like, "You're happy that the gas prices are up?" I'm like,
Not
no,
any
I just wanted
actual
to
proper
do this to prove a
protection
point,
plans.
and then I'm gonna make it into a YouTube video.
Yeah, I mean, well, like you said it this morning, you're like, this was an IQ test.
Yeah.
Because, well, it does point out the fact that, like, people are just headline readers nowadays. Like, how many people actually take the time, and, you know, I'm guilty of this occasionally, how many people take the time to actually open up the article and read the context behind the 2 sentences that they read before, you know, that are the headline.
This is like the sole basis for my job in media, is that, you know, people are always like, Tim's kind of a milquetoast fence, and I'm like, yeah, because my opinion on, like, the tax rate and, you know, the policy for abortion, I go, wow, I don't know if I'm smart enough to answer those questions for you guys, nor do I have the clarity of the moral clarity to tell you how to live your life, but I can certainly tell you the media lied to you about everything. So that's the challenge we have right now. It's not even that the media lies, which they do incessantly. It's one of the stories we've got pulled up. It's that people don't care. So that, you know, the NBC knows they can write this fake headline, making the victims of a terror attack sound like the perpetrators, because most people are not going to read the story. They're going to read the headline. And I guarantee you now there's a bunch of libs going around saying, did you hear about the white supremacist rally where they threw explosives at Mamdani's house? Because that was the headline that NBC created, even though the real story is I guess the protest was like is anti-Islam or Islam critical or something, and Islamic jihadi extremists lobbed nail bombs at it.
Oh,
And then the
okay,
media
got
frames it to
quick
make
scope
them
of
the bad guys, which
that.
again we'll get into. But yes, people aren't reading the news; they're just skimming the headlines and then assuming that's the truth.
Man, there's even just
does
deep fake
after I-
news headlines that I'll
after
read,
I-
and I'll be like, is this real? And I'll ask Grok, and he'll be, nope, this is fabricated. This is a fake picture from
Why don't
2020.
I hear
The American ship
hit
did not get
markers
blown
when-
up by
when
Iranian
betrayed?
missiles
That
today.
makes no sense.
Like, it's got 17,000 likes on it, or whatever.
I'm sure you've seen the billions of AI videos that have been going around where it's, you know, like an American fighter jet being chased or an American helicopter being chased by a dude on a flying carpet.
I thought that was real.
This is going to one-shot your grandfather on Facebook. Like, there's no way. If you're 70 plus, like, this is just, it's over.
He's gonna be like, I knew they had those things the whole time.
I've been indoctrinating my mother about it. Everybody, go to your elderly family members and friends and tell them about this AI stuff. Let them know right now. Like, get serious. Because they're still, it's interesting to them when they find out about it. But it's, you know, no one's going to tell them unless you do.
Let's jump to this next story. Speaking of the lies and manipulations of media, I have a tweet here
Wait,
from
there's a
NBC New York, which reads,
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say,
multiple arrests
multiple
made
guys on
after,
there?
quote, suspicious devices found outside Gracie Mansion, home of Mayor Zoran Mamdani, during anti-Islam rally and counter-protest. Now, any person who heard that is going to assume that anti-Islamic protesters planted suspicious devices. In fact, what actually happened is that an Islamic extremist lobbed a nail bomb at protesters. And here we have a video where there's the guy. And you know what I love this? This guy, Walter Madsen, says, I was in the middle of saying, as a born and raised New Yorker, we welcome everyone in the city, when he threw
I told you
this
about
over
the
my head. And
the
we learned
New York
after
thing with the
fact,
terrorists with
what
the
he's
nail
throwing
bomb.
is a nail bomb.
Yeah, what
It
about
means
it?
It's an explosive
All of
device.
the,
I think it was made with TATP.
leftist
Is that what
media
it's called?
outlets are
Yes,
making it
which
seem
is
like it was
actually,
the
I'm glad you brought
protesters
that up, because
that-
TATP, they got
they're-
very lucky on
they're,
that, 'cause people were like, oh, the fuses,
saying, like-
you know,
Nice.
they didn't ignite, whatnot. TATP is
Suspicious-
very notorious
shut up.
for being an
Suspicious objects found
So that's something that could have
near
immediately
the
gone off the
Mamdani house,
moment it hit the ground,
Mamdani
just from the
house
impact
during,
of smacking the concrete.
Gee.
anti-Mamdani
Now, I do have to shout out Sean Fitzgerald to say,
anti-Mamdani
some say
protests.
true poetic beauty is rare in life.
Nothing
Okay.
about a
I say
guy,
look at this
nothing about a
video
guy
of
throwing
Islamic
it
terror
at the,
literally going
at the
right
group
over a lefty's head.
Yeah.
in front of
Islamic
police.
terrorist is using a leftist as a defense or a shield
Yeah.
to carry out a terror attack.
But it's not just NBC New York. CNN had a very similar headline. Now, again, you have this. Teens charged in ISIS
Like, how- I don't know how that's
attack
legal.
near
It's literally
Mamdani's Gracie Mansion. Shouldn't the headlines be Islamic extremists throw improvised explosives at protesters? Yeah. These people in media hate you. They are evil. I'm sorry, not literally every single journalist, but whoever's making these articles, they hate your guts and they are evil.
Were they near Mamdani's house?
Yes. And so this is the manipulation. This is evil stuff, man.
But don't you know, the real victims of this will be the Muslims that are targeted by anti-Islamic hatred. And you know, that's...
Norm MacDonald. he had the famous, was a tweet I think where he said the worst thing about, what did he say, like the worst thing
My
about...
real fear is that there will be a nuclear explosion.
Oh.
Caused by Islamic terror. No, it was I should just pull it up. But he said, think about how bad it would be if like a nuclear device was lit up by Islamic extremists, all the poor Muslims or whatever would face all that hate or something like that. And yeah, that's the way the media operates. So the question is, what is the job of the press? It's to inform the public so that they can make the correct decisions to better lead their country through the democratic processes. That means you tell people Islamic extremists threw an improvised explosive at protesters, and they say, okay, let's assess that and figure out how we should adapt our country, our city, our state, or otherwise. When you put the headlines like
You're
this,
inside that crate,
what are they gonna
dog.
think? Oh wow, white supremacists are scary. That's what Mamdani said. Mamdani did the same thing. Zoran Mamdani tweeted,
Nice.
Jake Lang, a white supremacist, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, what happened next is even worse. It is wrong to use violence and explosives. He made it sound like Jake Lang showed up and his guys threw explosives.
How dare you peaceably assemble, as is guaranteed your right under the First Amendment, and give an opportunity
Wait, were these
for one of
trenches
our
always
people
here?
to do that to you? Like, that's really how that came off.
Oh, sometimes
Yeah,
different
it's,
game modes
it's like
have
the,
different things on the map.
Solzhenitsyn said
I don't know if
in
they
that
do
passage
that.
about
That dress.
a soldier was about to be murdered, stabbed, and then he fought back, grabbed the knife, and stabbed the attacker. Criminally charged for it. When he was in court, they said, "Why didn't you flee?" He was trying to kill me. He was like, "You could have run away." And so it's the poor criminal. Why didn't you? How? You know, actually, a really great example. One of my favorite episodes of Married Children, a show I'm not a big fan of, because Al Bundy's always losing. Except No Man, they had their successes. But I love the episode where he punched a guy in the face and then sued the guy for hurting his hand on his face. And I guess the point of the story was something was always backwards or whatever. Or the point of the show, it's always going wrong. But this is basically how they operate with these terror attacks. Like you just said, how dare you create the opportunity to entice these poor young men? You know, and I assure you right now, there are lefties in New York saying that, I guarantee this, because I've been in their meetings, they're probably saying things like, well, you gotta understand they're internalizing white supremacy and victimhood, and they're lashing out at the only way they know how.
Are you in the tank?
Take away the agency of the people that are actually carrying out the crime. They say, well, these
Nice.
people don't know they don't know better, or they can't help it, or what have you, which is
I might
completely
get
totally taking away.
there's a cool shirt that I just saw.
agency and the
I
fact that
stand
they are
with, and then it
choosing
says
to actually
Israel
make their
and
own
Palestine,
decisions. They
which are
blame
both
us on
crossed out, and then it says
You
Lockheed
were talking about
Martin on the bottom.
the role of media and journalism, particularly. I feel like it used to be find out what happened and then tell people about it. Now it's find out what's a lie and then tell people so they know which one's the lie, and then you kind of leave it up to everybody else to go find the truth. You know, there's just so many things happening that one guy cannot deliver that amount of information properly anymore. So you've got independent researchers now. It's a lot more normalized. And your job really is just, you know, break the fake narratives when they arrive.
Yeah, did you
It
get
used
what
to
I
be
was
just
trying to
to
say
tell
when you were trying to
Yeah, it used
interrupt
to be
me?
just tell people what's
I wasn't trying to interrupt you, dog.
You guys turn up Phil's mic.
Yeah, what were you trying to say, dog? That you're fucking gay?
The narrative, like weaving a narrative, is part of the job when it comes to journalism. That wasn't the way it was ever intended.
That's so crazy.
It might have, that we know of, because when the Unistate owned it, and it was like Walter Cronkite, I just thought it was true, but like the Vietnam War, you know, Gulf of Tonkin, you all thought that was real.
You guys knew it was coming. The moment people pointed out that Phil's mic was low, and they started saying, turn up Phil's mic, we got a bunch of, no, turn Phil's mic off.
But Phil's mic was fine the whole time.
I have fans.
No, he needs to go up. Well, Phil's been practicing his ASMR. He's got a new ASMR channel.
Well, no matter whether or not you can hear him, we can still hear him.
Rock,
That's right.
Abide.
Are these because your AI is doing all of your talking for you now?
Yeah. No, Tank doesn't have a voice yet. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, dog, it's like real war.
in a
Gotta win
tank
until
one
the
day?
tank goes by.
No.
That'd be badass, dude. You're like, take me to the future or whatever, and they're driving really long.
No.
Tank.
Because I prefer him in the
He's
Mac
gonna be
in
in
the
your
house.
Tesla, bro.
Well, that's actually coming, to be honest with you. But
It's
it won't
gonna
be
be
Tank.
it's gonna be a Grok bot. It's gonna
It
be
will be
it's
Grok.
gonna be what did Elon name that
Ara, I
waifu?
think is going to.
No, the waifu.
Yeah, Ara. A-R-A.
Seriously,
blonde-
do you
the blonde
understand
one
what
is
I was trying
Ara?
to say earlier?
Pretty
You
sure.
seem very sure about
Nope.
this.
I don't think that
pretty
doesn't sound
sure.
correct.
Are you
No.
deep in AI right now, Brandon?
Okay, so
Not
I told you
particularly.
about the
I have that.
two,
This is the one thing where I
Muslims
realized
that
it was TikTok started
guy
it, and now
threw,
AI is definitely one of those things
a
that
nail
I'm
bomb
seeing
that didn't go off
how
and
easy it is to
turned
fall
into a
behind. Because I think this is where I'm pushing
Okay.
back.
And it
Where
was
like,
caught on
like
camera.
with my parents or my
All of it.
grandparents, like I don't understand how you can understand Facebook or whatever that was coming out.
So there was a
Now I'm like,
protest,
no, this is scary. This is
outside of
robots. I
the
understand the importance of it. but,
Racing
like,
Mansion, which is
whenever I
basically
see
the
AI
mayor of New
music
York's
or
mansion
AI art and things
that
like
they
that,
get
my
to say when
initial
they're
response
in
is just
office.
like uncanny valley.
And instead of them
wrong.
saying
I push back.
This is my AI
you know,
agent. I can
domestic
literally I just
terrorists
send
or
text messages on.
Did you give him access to your credit cards?
No, I didn't. That's why he's
whatever.
that's why he's on a
It's,
computer of his own. He's got his own email address and he's got.
suspicious.
We're gonna do it.
So
We're
Objects
going to
found
make
You
an
can.
agent,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get a prepaid visa,
outside
Yep.
the mansion.
and then I'm gonna have it
during
go into the
protests.
prediction markets and just run it the API if they allow
Yeah.
it.
even though it's on
and then
video.
just
it's
crank
on
it.
video. One guy
Or
said
roll,
Happening
baby.
right now, yeah.
Apparently it is.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
basically
I took
that
a Waymo
Muslims like aren't
driverless
inherently
car.
bad,
I
and
took
then
like
the
4 of them
guy
last day, and it's very
who
soothing.
throws it
You don't smell the guy.
literally
you don't
does like
argue,
a
you don't
dunk,
talk your ear
like,
off.
in
It's
the
just you in a
NBA,
car. You can have a
like
phone
jumps
call.
on his shoulder and
It's still being
throws it.
recorded.
I've also
Dude,
taken
it's
a
actually
Waymo, and
insane.
it stopped in the middle of the road and made me
Like it's
get
so
out
obvious
in the middle of the
that
road.
I don't know how
Yeah.
these people
It's,
get away
and,
with it.
and I'm sitting
And
here in
then
the
instead
car,
of
and
the
it's like,
mayor,
so don't get me wrong. There's a sidewalk to my right. There was
Dog,
like a curb
come
and grass and
over.
all
I'll
this
give
stuff,
you
and
some
it's
mushroom
but
tea,
it's the
dog.
middle- there's no shoulder or anything. It was I was in LA.
I'll give
I
you some
think,
mushroom tea,
and it's just
dog.
driving and then just
Nice.
stops on a 2-lane road with cars zooming past.
Take
and it was
the
like,
edge
"You can drive."
off.
And I'm like, no, I haven't. I was maybe like a block from my actual destination, and it was trying to get me to get out at the wrong spot. And I look at my map, I'm like, where am I? And you can't do anything about it. You can't tell it to stop.
It happened to me today. That literally a block
And now it's
And just
conquest.
like
not on the street.
you're on like a busy thoroughfare, and it just stops.
What year was it? What day was that? Like month and was that like a?
Oh,
This was last year. When was I?
shit.
When did I go on Bill Maher's show? It was around
it
then.
was like a year ago.
Yeah, and I wanted to take it to go around into like the Hollywood.
All right,
Hills.
now I got the javelin.
What if there was a AI congressman? Would you support that?
No.
I think when that happens, it's the
Yeah, I'm like a member of Congress that was like
Nice.
a foreign advisor of
Perfect.
Congress that was AI or something.
Are you the gunner? Or?
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
you
a
are.
thing that's pretty much everybody under.
Well, we're gonna fucking crash, so
Anything else sounds
there you
like
go, dog.
you know, just one of those like you're controlled by your.
Kill them all. Kill them in their spawn. Kill them in their spawn.
The autopilot is pretty good.
Allah. What?
Where are you?
I caught it.
my missile didn't
It,
even
well,
hit
it
it.
was because it like it doesn't understand certain things.
if I was
like,
on
if
tank,
there's,
I would've
like,
died
a,
before
you
the
know,
missile
yield to
hit
turn left
Yeah.
on green.
Dude, there's no
And there's
jets on
oncoming
this map.
traffic. It's just like we're turning slowly, and I had to
horrible,
manually take control to make sure that.
I've had a few in the
Come here
past
back,
couple
I
years
haven't
gotten
found
dramatically
it.
better. A couple years ago, I talked about it quite a bit. Where in West Virginia, there's like a I think it's West Virginia. It might be.
I
There's
think once you
a,
find a game,
like
I don't know
three.
what to
It's like
do.
6-lane highway, so 3 and 3. So to turn left, you have to stop it immediately and then wait until the road clears. So I'm in the middle lane,
Take
autopilot,
that
going I think
off.
like 70 miles an hour, and there's a pickup truck sitting in the meeting waiting to turn. And as soon as it pops up on I was in the Model S, it slams the
Okay,
brakes on,
fuck it.
like, and me and my wife were like.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Needless to say, we were like, holy crap, and you tap the accelerator to stop it, make it go forward again.
But
Tons
that's
of things like
that's
that,
how
and
you
then I
can
was in
have. That's
Hagerstown,
how the
Maryland.
left gets so much power.
And
is that the
it was
media lies for them.
autopiloting. And
What
there
do you
was like a
think
Nissan
Arvin would
Sentra
say to that?
sitting in front of me, turning right. And Tesla was just going straight
Well, you
for it.
probably think.
And it
I don't
wasn't
know. He
stopping.
probably believed.
And when it
the
got maybe within a couple
the
inches, I
news, but
just
he'd also probably say
jammed
that.
the wheel to the left.
He
like,
probably
holy
believed
crap.
what
And then like
Downey said
the
about
alert
the
goes off. What's wrong?
protesters.
And I'm like, you nearly just rammed the back of someone's car at 25 miles an hour.
It's weird how
more
you're calling
recently,
those protesters
It hasn't
far
really.
right
It's been
after
mostly
what
fine.
happened
Haven't
with
any,
9/11.
real
How
issues.
they said
Yeah, I've had a couple
New updates.
times where there was
never
issues,
forget
but
or whatever.
it's for the
And
most
now
part
they've
I can
forgotten.
basically rely on it to
and they're throwing
go
fucking bombs
wherever I
in
want to
their
go
city
without
now.
any issues.
You know, and I don't really care about the Cybertruck because it's got curb weight.
Yeah.
Sit
I
back
think
and
the way
and the liability's on Elon. So you
the
know.
way Elon put it is, I think in the crash testing of the Cybertruck, he said if you're if the Cybertruck gets in an argument with another car, it will win.
Indeed.
So
You know, I brought
There's only 3 people in the
We
squad.
were talking about me. He said, "Wait, seriously? What are you saying about me?" And then I said, "Well, that's wild. Good things. I hope. I hate to get canceled before I even have a social media presence."
just send him the link.
He said, "Appreciate that. Tell them I said hi and that I'm available for bookings." So
We can take on the show.
We can
Let's
get
get him
Tank
a
on the
voice
show.
and see what he has to offer. I brought up AI.
Give him like a
Oh, nice.
British. No, not a
Threesome,
good
oh,
British.
oh,
Bad British. A cockney.
so I can barely understand. Right? Right, governor, boy.
You know, Phil, I think you're doing pretty good, mate.
He's gonna after everything he's gonna say, "In it."
Show, in it.
Just make sure it's not run by Grok, because on a bad month, that can be pretty hairy.
Fuck this
Yeah.
tank.
I don't understand why everybody got so. You know what really annoys me? I'm sorry, I have to say this. When Grok started calling itself Mecha Hitler, that was funny. It was an error in the system caused by user input, and the media acted like the apocalypse was happening, like Elon did it on purpose. It's like,
Right.
dude, live a little. He fixed it. It was funny that it broke that way.
But there's fake moral outrage to be had.
Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
I brought up AI, Brandon, because I feel like Congress, where you're going, most likely, is pretty busted up right now. Like, one guy has to represent 700,000 people. You can't literally, like, you can represent yourself. You can't represent me. I can only represent myself effectively. Like, you could pass a note for me, but now what? 700,000 people. You're gonna you've got to make your own decisions at some
Ian,
point, and we trust you. But that system, it's getting so big, it feels like it's not sustaining.
Well, I mean, it's represented based on population, and really the job is not to represent each individual person. The job is to say,
That's
okay, this is the
literally inside
area
of
of
his
land, these are the
fucking
people
skull.
that I'm representing, these are the issues that they're having that aren't being put on a national stage. Like, for example, in my district, it's the biggest border district in the
Panthera.
country. We've got border issues. We've got water issues, water shortages. We have AI data centers that are moving in. We have oil thefts that are happening in like the Permian Basin areas. It's my responsibility to then take those issues to the national stage to represent the broader whole of the people, not each individual person. Because I mean, realistically, the best form of government is the one that governs most locally. So you want to take the most amount of power away from federal, give it to states down to local communities, and the ideal form of government is the individual. But in lieu of that, you have to have somebody that can represent that voice.
And if you're looking for things that affect you personally, like on that kind of level, you do have state representatives. So like you wouldn't
Yes.
go to Brandon, who's a federal representative. He represents a district in Washington. You can go to your local representative and talk to people about the needs of your community on a state level.
It's about the district, not every single individual as an individual.
Note.
And there's, even when it was 35,000 people, it's impossible. Come on, you think back in the day when they created the country, one guy was going to go to each and every of the 35,000 and be like, literally what you want, I will advocate for. No, sometimes there's going to be contradictions. So
You just did
I
7
agree
damage
with
to
you
me
in
and killed me.
essence
Like,
that
how is that
it is
even
getting pretty
possible,
wild.
dude?
These districts are getting so massive. But the general idea is, do you have an understanding of what your district is looking for and wants in terms of, Brandon will be going to D.C., dealing with federal policy
Fuck, did I not get
and
the kill
representing
for
the
that?
interests of everybody in this district. And that means there's going to be challenges, and I don't mean just to say this about Brandon, but literally a member of Congress. You got 100,000 people who think raw milk should be banned. You got 100,000 people who think raw milk should be legal. What do? There's no easy answers.
That's where your ethics come in. That's why we choose who we say. It's like it's up to you to break the tie.
For sure.
You say
Oh,
raw milk.
come
goes on
on!
Tiny miniaturized American flag.
Why is it reloading? Oh my god, it just reloaded. It's reloaded.
In their elderly years.
Yo, dog, it just reloaded, but it's gotta reload.
Dude, this guy's this taking so much
That was a
longer.
bad riff, and it shouldn't go into any song ever.
At least
Thanks.
I mean, I feel like on one element of it, you could interpret it that way. Things are getting crazy in that regard. But also on the other one, with the age of information technology and instant communication, you could say that representatives, if they actually gave a damn
Apparently
about
tanks don't have
representing,
brakes.
the people that they were responsible for, they're in the best position possible because they can instantly,
Stop by
from
rolling.
DC, talk to their constituents and ask what they need and ask what they want and ask what the issues are from the district. But that's giving a lot. That's asking a lot. That's asking the congressman to actually care about their constituents.
I wonder the longer they're in there, if they get less and less interested with what's happening out there. Like, do you support term
100
limits?
We've seen it a
worse than
million
that.
times. Technically, I'm still the president of U.S. term limits for the state of Texas. I mean, well, a lot of what I did when in between the last two election or the last election and this one was go to the Capitol in Austin and ask other members of the state legislature if they would sign on to the term limits pledge. Because I don't think anybody goes to D.C. and gets better.
So what about your term limits? I'm kind of the opinion that if you have term limits, you're going to end up giving the bureaucracy more power, because you have people that are only there for, say, for Congress, it's whatever, 4 terms, right? They're only there for 8 years. Just at the point where they really learn the ins and outs about DC, they're term limited out and they have to leave. So what could end up happening is bureaucrats and staffers that don't have any kind of term limits end up running the show even more than they already do.
Vice, man.
We understand that staffers really do a lot of making decisions for Congress. They tell their Congress people or their senators, this is how we're voting or what have you. But what do you say to people that say term limits actually aren't going to solve the problem and make the bureaucracy more powerful?
Well, here's what I would argue in return. I don't think it's going to solve the problem. I don't think any one thing. This is a massive, multifaceted problem. I think it's going to help in regards with the incumbency advantage, because not only do you have the name recognition that comes with incumbency, but a lot of times you have the fundraising ability and everything. Like once you get to the levels of, for example, John Cornyn right now, who's done 34 years in the Senate. He's asking for 30. He might get it. I don't think he will. But he has the ability to throw $100 million at Ken Paxton because he's essentially invincible at this point financially. And so, like, that's something that snowballs, and people don't get better. John Cornyn, I mean, he was never great, but he certainly did not get better. And now he has, like, a fraction of $1 billion to throw at his opponent, who's objectively a better
Bro, what kind of fucking
and so
horseshit is that?
Kneecapping the ability of good incumbents to hold these people accountable. I mean, in my race, I got outspent $13 million, like 10 to 1 initially. And it was just because the guy had access to the appropriations committee and to all the big PACs and super PACs and everything like that. He was able to throw all that money at me. And I think if you start holding these people accountable in the sense that they can't continue to snowball those resources, things get a little better.
I'm thinking about like AI, about using an AI to compile what your district wants, and then so it's easier for you as a candidate to focus on. Because I think what's going to happen is you're going to go to DC and get. I don't know what's going to happen. It's up to you. You know, you're sovereign. But if it's a temptation to get sucked into DC politics and like be part of the gang there, and then kind of turn a blind eye to behind what's past, you know?
My understanding is that the first thing that happens is Mitch McConnell will bite you and then transform you into one of them.
Yeah. I have 3 days to cut off my arm or else.
Just tell us if you get
You notice all the teeth marks on the inner forearm of all new members of Congress.
So,
I mean, he has to wake up first.
instead of being like, hey, don't do that, which is like, well, all the Congress people pretty much, they go there and they get involved with political, federal politics. If we had an easier way to compile what the districts want and need using like an AI or some sort of system.
I mean, I'm not discounting AI as a tool. Like, maybe I came off as a bit of like a Luddite a second ago, but like I understand the utility of AI in that regard. But at the same time, I don't know. Especially, what I'd like to do is kind of approach the problem from the other side of things when it comes to, because I know, I guarantee any DC staff are watching this. They've used AI to summarize bills, and they've used AI to figure out, okay, I have a 500-page bill on the table. ChatGPT, what does this say? Summarize this in 500 words. I guarantee that's happening. Let's approach it from the other side and stop having these 4,000-page bills. Like, let's start going back to, like, couple-page bills that any reasonable human can actually read and understand, because otherwise it's just staffer slop.
It was Matt Gaetz was obsessive about getting rid of the omnibus bills. Matt Gaetz, it was a big deal, and then he left, and you're the first person that's mentioned it since that's tangentially close to Congress. I agree. These omnibus 800-page bills, I mean, I think it should be a felony to vote on something you didn't read. Swear on God that you read the bill. If you're
They should have to swear under oath that they read and affirm knowledge of the bill and what they're voting for.
Most of DC's going to go to prison.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. This is, well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, the first time I met Matt Gaetz, I was asked by his staff to fly in and testify in front of a congressional field hearing on ATF overreach. And I think it was like the ATF Act, which, if I'm not mistaken, was either like a 1 or 2
Damn dog. 5 and
while I was sitting there to testify on it.
Yep.
Like, that's, why can't we do that?
How are
I
you
don't
gonna
understand.
put pork into a 1 or 2 page bill? Come on.
Well, that's probably why they don't do it.
Purely for obfuscation.
Well, no, here's what I don't understand. When they bring in the omnibus, I don't understand why like Thomas Massey doesn't just like sneak up behind it, lift it up, and just slide in a one-page like amendment. Because nobody reads it. And they're
What
gonna be
is
like, "Wait,
your
what happened?" And
opinion
he's gonna
of
be like, "I got you."
Mom
I mean, that's one of the things that Congress
Done?
likes about the omnibus bills, right? Like they can go ahead and slide something in, and it gives
he
them
puts
cover.
on the
They can
fake
say, "Well,
accent when
you know,
he
I
talks
had to
about
vote for the omnibus bill
Islamophobia.
because all of these good things wouldn't have happened. So this bad thing that you don't like,
Whoa.
we had to
You know the
vote
fake
yes on it
accent
because
that
it was an
Muslims
omnibus
put
bill,
on?
and it gives them cover to
You know, there's
Oh, it's a
vote
fake
yes on
accent.
things that are-
there's
My
this way
pitch
you
to Thomas
do this,
Massey
you know?
was because he said that he was able to get an amendment into
Nice.
this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, that said if they didn't pass
Yo, it's
a
all a
budget,
fake
they would
accent,
reduce
dog.
all existing budgets by 1%
Yes, just
or
like
something.
how when
And
Kamala
everybody in
Harris
Congress was like, "Oh, that's
is
meaningless
speaking
because
in
we'll
front of
just
black
pass
people,
another,
she
talks omnibus or whatever.
the
We'll
way
get the
she
budget
doesn't
done."
actually speak.
And so when they
Whoa.
didn't, and everything dropped.
Same
the point,
with
he was like,
Obama.
"That's how you do it."
Like the
And my
whitest
pitch
sounding
was
guy ever.
using something
like a
like
black
that
dude
where
in
they'll
front
make
of
a
black people.
concession. Can you orchestrate this kind of like
Yeah,
how
it's
would you
kinda
describe this
retarded.
series of bills, sleeper bills, that we would call this a Voltron law. Each individual component of the law does very little, and most people don't care. But when all of them get activated, then they abolish the NFA or something.
The omnibus of Exodia.
Yeah. When the 5 single-page
He calls a
bills
bunch of
come
white
together,
people
guns,
white
all guns
supremacists.
are now legal and everything else is removed.
He doesn't call
legislation you want to pass in Congress?
terrorists.
There's a lot of priorities. I mean, specifically in my district, and some that apply
just don't
nationally that I'd love to get done. But one of them, I mean, again, comes down to border, is codifying a lot of the stuff that President Trump has done to solve the border crisis. Because my God, I mean, I campaigned in this district last cycle, and I talked to the sheriffs, I talked to a lot of the border patrol and National Guard guys deployed on the border, off the record, entirely off the record, just listening to the actual problems that they were dealing with. And now campaigning in this district for the second time, it's night and day.
Dude, there's
I
like
mean,
70
it's
fucking
a
million
complete
people in
shift.
there.
I mean, a lot of those problems went away. The only
Where?
problem I have with it is a lot of it was done with
The
executive
building,
and if it's
like,
done
right
with
in front of you
executive
to your
order,
left,
that was
the one with
one
the-
stroke
the
of the
zip
pen,
line.
made it go away. If we get another, another Democrat president at some point, which we will, it will happen
Spawn on
eventually.
him.
Well, I'm
One stroke of
fucking
the pen, it will away,
dead.
one stroke of the
Wow,
pen
the
to make
game
it
won't
go
let me
away.
spawn on
I have
him.
a pitch that I
This game is
assure
horrible.
you all listening at home
Absolute
is not a
faggot
joke.
horrible.
I believe that Congress,
Whoa.
members of Congress, maybe you or
Yeah,
Thomas
see,
Massey could do
this
this.
guy just committed
Um,
suicide.
Present a bill for mandatory gun ownership. Make it a requirement that people
Dude,
must
there's
make
70.
lab.
Okay, can you just fire him
Because
there
it is kinda
until
crazy,
like
right?
fucking
We
get
all
up
love the idea.
onto the roof?
But the actual strategy
You'll
is
get,
to
like, literally
force
a
the
million
debate in the
kills.
other direction.
Hmm.
So instead of constantly having a debate
one
over
so
which
far.
guns should get banned this time,
Oh,
the debate
now I
should
got
start
one.
with Republicans saying, we're going to make it mandatory
Well, what you
for
should do
everybody above the
between-
age of 18 to
between
own a
shells,
gun.
just
You are required
switch
to go
to
the
your
Department
secondary
of Gun
and just shoot
Services,
them,
DGS,
keep them back.
where you will then
That's what I do,
fill out
so
the paperwork,
I
like basically just here's who I am, so that you can get your one sidearm and long gun. Everyone must do it.
Nice,
Then when
dude.
Democrats say you're crazy,
Were-
say,
were they on the
"Oh, well,
roof?"
Just go with don't ban guns.
So it's an
Yep, my
Overton
teammate
window
was
shop.
there, and
Yes.
then
So
he's not.
well, I do
It's
laugh,
amazing.
but there is actually, I think
Like,
there's
I-
at least two
I
states
want them to
that have a county
study
that did
the
something
logic
similar. I
of
think
that.
one of them is Georgia and the other is Tennessee. I could
Hey,
be,
our
could be
teammates,
correct,
our
but
teammate
they
is
did
there
it. They
when
don't
I'm
enforce
out there,
it,
but when I
but they
am
put it
there,
out
our
there because
teammate
they're
is
saying like this is our local crime prevention. Like this is your responsibility. It's in the verbiage of the Second Amendment.
Just think about how amazing it would be, right? Like you drive into your car and you get pulled over and the cop says license, insurance, and proof of gun ownership. And then you're like, I don't have it on me. It's like, sir, are you driving without a firearm? It's like, I am. I'm gonna write your ticket for that. You can't do it.
Like, I could have had somebody coming up behind me.
Oh, and I got
Where
s-
are you? I need you
I
to
got
protect
sniped
me.
by a not a sniper.
I don't
Amazing,
actually
dude.
think
This
it would be
game is
good to
really
force
good.
everybody to have guns. I think it should be a
Right.
choice. But the general argument is, every time the Republicans are always engaging the Democrats on their territory.
Yeah.
They will say, hey, we're going to ban. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was something like 8 years ago. Democrats in D.C. proposed a bill to ban every semi-automatic gun.
Yeah.
100% of them.
Look at what they're doing in Virginia right now. So yeah, very
Virginia is
similar.
basically banning literally every gun. And the Republicans argue with, well, hold on.
Holy
Let us
fuck.
keep these guns. Like,
happened,
we're
though?
negotiating with them from an extreme position. Let's go extremely the other direction and then meet with them.
Like, I will
Just
never
constant
forget,
fucking
like,
barrage.
The NRA leadership has changed a lot since then. They seem to be going in a much more based direction, which I'm thankful for. I'd like to see some results, but I will never forgive them for capitulating on the bumpfire stocks and whatnot. Like when the push was coming from the Democrats, to my understanding, they were the ones advocating behind the scenes, like, oh, well, what if we just allow this to be banned? It's like, no, you should be fighting for us. You shouldn't be figuring out what the least consequential compromise you can make is.
But now they're doing, what is it, the fixed reset triggers, is that what it's called?
Forced reset
Triggers, are those banned now?
The Supreme Court's already decided on that, so I'm not sure what the actual language in the bill would be to get them to pass legislation that
Take
would...
what you can carry.
Is that banned?
No, they're not. Supreme Court,
Supreme Court said no, you can't do that.
Right now, well, because if you actually look at the letter of the law, when it comes to a machine gun, it's a weapon that fires more than one round per pull of the trigger. And because the forced reset triggers, forcing the reset, meaning that the trigger resets and you have to pull the trigger again. Your own force of the trigger pull is pulling the trigger. If they wanted to amend the NFA and make that a machine gun, they'd have to get it passed through Congress. But as it stands, it does not meet the definition of a machine gun, therefore they're all legal. And man, that's the new Wild West in the gun front right now.
I mean, to be completely honest, the technology is out there for some pretty wild weapons. Rail guns have been around for a very long time. And I've noticed a lot of the laws that were on the books for ammunition specifically reference like combustion of some sort or powder or whatever. But what's to stop a person from just making a railgun with bolts?
Probably technical knowledge.
My general real question for you, Brandon, because you're, AK Guy is your handle on Twitter, and like you're notoriously a gun rights activist.
Like they're in their
At what
fucking
point
spawn,
do the
man.
Second Amendment kind of be like, should I have a nuclear ballistic warhead that I can carry around and like accidentally drop on the ground and blow
Real
up?
quick, and I'll add one more to also depleted uranium rooms. Where's the line?
So there's also all sorts of stuff that's technically banned that civilians have access to just because of stuff that's fallen off the truck. You see it at gun shows and different things like that.
Fallen off
It's
the
kind of
truck.
like, yeah, it's one of those, like, there's never been a legal determination on it, so like it just kind of, because it's never been commercial per se, it's only been military. A lot of the diehard gun nuts will know kind of the stuff that I'm talking about. But a lot of people don't know that there's actually an ATF form specifically. So like when you do e-file, so I'm getting kind of a little technically in the weeds here, but you do like a Form 2, Form 3, Form 4 online through the ATF. On their own website, there is a drop-down option, and I do not know what it is for. I do not know the use case for this. There is a drop-down option for nuclear.
Yeah.
So that is a thing. Like, there is an actual ATF form. There's licensing for it for whatever reason, but...
Well, I would imagine, Lockheed or Raytheon or whoever is developing U.S. nukes is going to submit a form for it and be like... Although I kind of feel like when you're at that level, it's rubber stamped, the president's involved,
Right. Yeah, oh, no, I can only imagine the approval process. If only the
He's
Ayatollah
up on the other
knew that he
roof,
could just
dude.
move to the United States and then do the form.
He's up
So
on the
let me
roof.
ask you in terms of restricting gun rights, what about depleted uranium
Which
rounds?
one?
Civilians be allowed to purchase things like that?
That one over there.
I don't see the argument against. I mean, would I want to put that anywhere near any vital part of my body? Absolutely not.
Oh, wait, I'm a fucking medic. I'm ready.
But I mean, it's not really useful for anything.
gotta have
Like anything that people would be
defibs.
concerned about, it's not very useful for.
I am of the opinion that private citizens and entities in the United States should be legally allowed to own nuclear weapons. Only, hold up, I'll clarify because all the libs freak out when I say this, because it is constitutionally protected and we have not amended the Constitution as such. I don't think people should be able to get nuclear weapons. However, technology has outpaced the perception, our understanding of arms, weapons, etc. And so the liberals often make the argument the founding fathers could never have
Dude, I hear
thought
so many
that
downstairs. I
that
haven't
was
seen
just
one.
far more
Not
true.
yet. I don't
They
understand.
had, the 1300s, they had that multi-barrel.
Oh, too.
I mean, several of the founding fathers invested in the technology that eventually led to things like the Gatling
How
gun.
did he
Like
get
this
up
was a
there?
thing.
What?
That was kind
How
of,
did he actually get up there?
It was on the table.
That being said, nuclear
Dude,
weapons is
what
something
the
different.
fuck?
But they did know and actually required the services of privateers
Yes.
with the most advanced weaponry. I mean, imagine if there was like an aircraft carrier floating around that was just owned by some guy.
Your guess is
And
as
he's
good
just
as
like
mine,
a
dude.
Jeff Bezos
That's
buys an
literally
aircraft carrier
magic.
and just mans it, and he's got weapons, and he's got, a couple nukes on it. That's how it used to be. And so, until we amend the Constitution and say the right of people who can bear arms shall not be infringed, except if it is considered to be a weapon of mass destruction, which includes, then my opinion is the government restricting people from having access to is an infringement on our rights. And it is a duty of the people to amend the Constitution as the founding fathers have laid out if they would like to change it.
Also, I had a pragmatic argument, which was, it requires, that's something that is done on a national. That is a massive technological feat. I mean, the Russians
Take cover.
German scientist.
I'm a engineer, so
Someone
I
in
can
2026
get out and
have the
repair if you need.
resources, the ability, the engineering team to be able to enrich uranium and be able to put together a nuclear weapon on an island, Dr. Evil style. Your law is not going to stop them. Good luck. So if Elon Musk threw $8 billion at deciding he wanted to have a nuclear weapon, good luck.
Dude, this
What
should
are you
take
gonna
so
do,
long.
sanction him?
That one
let me
is
ask you real
less
quick, how you
maneuverable
define,
than
or how
the troop
is
carrier.
the word
At least
arms defined?
in my opinion.
The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So
When
what
I
is that? What
in
does
the
that
troop carrier, I can
would say
fucking fly
weaponry,
like nothing.
you know, that's
thing,
kind of the
it
way
just
it's
feels
applied
like
in
autism.
the
And the missiles
What
have
about just like
negative.
a can of
splash
AF hard
damage.
seltzer
It's
and then tie
crazy.
a shoelace around it and start swinging it around.
I mean, that's very biblical.
The right to keep and bear AF arms on shoelaces shall not be infringed, huh?
But I mean, there's also the lie that keeps getting perpetuated by people like Joe Biden. He was one of the worst.
When he told you to shoot a shotgun into the air?
Well, no, the thing where he's like, it's illegal to it's illegal to own a cannon. Like you've never been able to own a cannon. I always push back on that. It has never been illegal to own a cannon. It has always. Texas was almost borderline founded on the idea that we're keeping our cannon.
Yeah.
Like they used to ask, like you brought up the privateers. They would ask privately owned vessels bearing cannons to come help us, mess up some of America's enemies.
The head of NASA now owns a MiG. I want to say, I'm not sure what.
29.
No, what is it? A MiG 29? Is it? Yeah. So I mean,
I think he's got 4 now.
Now let me ask you another question before and we'll jump to the next story real quick. There was a man who famously created a radioactive death ray in his garage. I think you're familiar with the story, Phil? Yeah. I'm not going to explain how he did it, but it's actually not very difficult. And the feds came in and were like, "You are irradiating your whole neighborhood with this death ray. People are going to die." So they arrested him. He was covered in lesions, and they offered him a job. And they said, "Why don't you do what you're doing, but for us?" He said, "Okay." And he was just,
Dude, how many fucking flares does this thing have?
And then started doing the same insanity with radiation. So they eventually said, "Okay, get out," and he got arrested. That's a weapon, right?
And now we have the discombobulator.
Take what you
ray.
can carry.
Indeed. So, I mean, what happens to us if people are able to wield compact, deadly weapons? I'm talking about like with high risk of collateral damage, like a discombobulator
I didn't even get a
ray
fucking
or
assist
a
on that.
radiation death beam.
And I mean, we saw this all the way back
200
to
damage, which is my goal.
Timothy McVeigh in Oklahoma City in the 90s. This is one of those things where, and it's going to get worse and worse in that regard, where man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. I think that there's going to be an issue where technology, like you said, outpaces these things, and it will outpace the law. It will outpace. It doesn't matter
Take what you can carry.
you think the law should be. If a law is in place,
I think they're
that
gonna
will
come
not
up
stop.
soon.
And that's
The
where I
guy
think
just
we
went to
have
the
a-
building we're on.
Agreed. Let's jump to this next story from the New Republic. Trump officials are suddenly buying doomsday bunkers. Completely separately, we are on the 10th day of an ever-expanding Iran war. Well, as you already know, Trump said the war is very nearly complete, so we'll see if that
there's
actually
7
turns out to
million
be
of them
true.
down
The market certainly reacted as though Trump is always telling the
Literally
truth,
fucking
or at least
millions.
always correct. So they must know something. We got this. They say at least 2 members of the president's cabinet have recently purchased bomb-proof bunkers.
Try to get the
Operator
helicopter.
Atlas Survival Shelters told the Telegraph over the weekend that orders have gone up tenfold since the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran.
Dude.
But among his anxious clientele are 2 chief members of Trump's team, according to the shelter maker, saying, "One of them texted me yesterday asking me, when will my bunker be ready?" To the Telegraph. So these bunkers can range from something like $20,000. We've actually, I think I might have
Hey, whoa!
they've got
Yes!
that they just lowered
Dude,
to
let's
the ground.
How
go.
did that fucking happen? What the?
It's really amazing. Freaking
Oh, I guess the gun
like, nice little
must
Yeah,
have like
explosive.
hit somebody.
Yeah.
Question. Trump cabinet members
I think
buying nuclear
you shooting
bunkers because they can
did
or
explosive
because they know
damage to
something we
the
don't.
helicopter. So
Because they
broke
can.
The helicopter.
You
That's
think?
fucking
Yeah, I
cool.
mean, I
There's
don't-
rich people, so they're like, look, I got money, I'd buy it.
I mean,
I'd like one.
not to speak about how much
You would
money
have
you do or
one?
don't.
No, I
have.
said I'd like one. That'd be nice.
20
It's not in
grand,
the
why don't you
budget
get one?
yet.
I mean,
I'm too busy trying to fix things from the inside right now. If I didn't
Oh,
spend
well,
all that money
no,
doing
that's
that, then
not fair, Brandon. Once you get into Congress, you got Mount Weather and Raven Rock for your bunker.
I'll put it this way: once I'm there and then I start buying a bunker, maybe pay attention. But Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's something.
You like walk out of the skiff and you're like, I can't tell you what went on in that meeting, but I will tell you that Atlas bunkers are the best bunkers.
You can actually get. They have a website. I checked out their website before. Or they have a
cool
YouTube
stuff.
page.
I'm pretty sure
It's
I have a
super
buddy
cool.
who has one of their bunkers.
Yeah.
Although I don't think that if it was sensitive state information, I don't think they would be very happy with him saying this to news sources.
Dude, these are amazing.
but
But
yeah,
look
I
at
mean-
this. 25K precast concrete bomb shelter. Look at this one, customizable. Do they have like a shelter builder?
I'd have to blast if I wanted to put one in New Hampshire though, because there's all mountains and rock and stuff up there.
Is this a sponsored bit?
No, it's not.
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
That's a cool
Hey, I mean, I
sponsor.
would be totally down.
But yeah, like their YouTube page is pretty sick.
Plus, you could Airbnb it out.
Look at
If
this,
you weren't staying there?
$250,000 bunker. Like, why buy a house, dude?
just for the sunlight.
To put on top of it so no one knows where your bunker is.
You know what I was thinking would be a really cool idea though is you can get mountainside property really cheap because it's hard to do anything with, right? And so I was like, what if we took one of these 250K bunkers and dug it into a mountain?
Yes, dude.
So one side is just overlooking the the beauty. There's a river down there, or a stream or whatever, and then you actually set it up so that there's a gigantic concrete area separated. So a portion of it is sheltered, the other portion is exposed and open.
So what you need to do is find some. You go to New York, find some Islamic extremists, and have a PhD that can blow a hole in the
That's
side
stuck
of the
in
mountain
between
for
two
you.
buildings
And then you can
move,
build
yeah.
your dream bunker.
It's a great
Dude, you
game.
could do like a bunch of them next to each other and build either a city or build tunnels between them and have just like a megalopolis in the side of a mountain.
Well, part of the reason why you build a bunker, or part of the one of the things that people like about
shut
building
down
bunkers
already.
is anonymity. They like that people don't know where it is, keep it secret. Because ostensibly, in an end of the world scenario, if you have a bunker and your neighbor doesn't, your neighbor might want to try and come and get into your bunker.
I was
It's
thinking
a
of
bad
that,
idea.
that guy who was like, end of the world scenario, he's got all the money in the world, he's got all the armed guards in the world, and then the world ends and he's underground with all his armed guards, and the armed guards are like, why are we dealing with this guy?
That's actually, I think, part of the plot of the Horizon series.
I know
Yeah.
I've heard that, mind experiment before. That, like, if you
One of the
He's
one of
Before
the
it was because money meant something. Now that money means nothing, I'm the guy with the gun.
yeah, bunker with you, so
Dude, that's
Well, it depends on what your skills are. The funny thing is, I'd imagine most billionaires don't have functional skills for survival.
Fucking amazing,
Maybe
dude.
presumption
He's like, what the fuck, dude?
I'd imagine farmers are going to be the.
Wow, this map is good for
preppers
that.
are
It's
obviously going to want to survive any kind of real nuclear strike or apocalypse.
Yeah.
But outside of anyone who's specifically preparing for the end of times, farmers probably would do the best. Hunters, people who naturally have basic survival. I'd imagine a tech billionaire would be completely useless. Now, to be fair, they're smart. You don't get to these places without being smart, and technology is important. The question is, how would Elon apply his knowledge in a situation where it's like 7 dudes in the middle of a field, city's gone, there's no fuel, cars aren't running, and they're like, okay, we got to survive.
To be fair, that's exactly the kind of person I would trust to rebuild a society.
But rebuild society, yes, when you have scale, but what if you're just 7 guys in the middle of the woods?
Well, then,
You're gonna be, look, someone's got to find water, someone's got to build shelter, and someone's got to find food.
at that point, his food is your food.
Exactly.
But you got to protect him too, because you're like, look, on the off chance that we do make it out of this, you're gonna be rebuilding society for us, so we're gonna keep you alive.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Let the
No,
smart guy-
while I certainly respect that someone like Elon or Bezos, they're intelligent individuals who are able to build systems, it doesn't mean they have good people in building policy and governance or anything.
Now, I think outside of like a Fallout-style bunker where you have an actual functioning society with a lot of people that you could trust, okay, when we go topside, we have something that we can actually rebuild with. I'm not sure I'd want to survive a situation that I would need a nuclear Fallout bunker. I think I'm good, frankly.
Yeah, you turn into a ghoul, and then you live forever, but you're all weird looking and your nose falls off.
Heaven's pretty cool, so I'm kind of with you on that.
Heaven is pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds neat. From everything I've heard about it, it sounds much preferable.
Well, when I was a kid, my dad
Yeah.
was always full of fun little hypotheticals. And one he said to me was, if you saw a nuclear bomb coming down right there in the sky, what would you do? And I was like, run? And he goes, yeah, which direction? I was like, away? No. Run towards it.
Yeah.
because you don't want to be caught in the searing flesh and painful death zone. You want to be in the instantly vaporized zone.
What a cheery man he was. That's it.
And he'd always be like, we'd walk into a restaurant, where your exits at? He was a Marine. So he'd walk in and go, there's like, right, and a firefighter. Because the amount of people that die in burning buildings because they don't know where the exit is.
Dude, the AA tank is the best for ramming other tanks, dude.
Got stuck. And then the guy who filmed it calmly walked out the emergency exit and then filmed everybody just stuck in the door because they all pushed each other in and then got...
It doesn't surprise me, but it's still just, it's jarring.
Yeah. They say that when too many humans are in one space, fluid dynamics take over and basically a bunch of water. So like when those stampedes in Mecca.
Yeah, I don't get a Mardi Gras in St. Louis.
Look at the comments, dude.
Like, moved along an
Oh my god.
of maniacs.
Report kettle.
On the wall, I'm soaking up. And the cops are like, you can't do that. I think they let me off with a warning.
Because they couldn't get to you.
They're like, get him! And he's floating away.
Yeah.
I think that's did a bunch of words.
Oh, I think that was one of the big. God, I could be misremembering this. I think it was in New York or something like that. But there was like an attack on. I don't remember if it was just a nightclub or like a gay club or something like that. It was one of the biggest mass casualty events because they lit on fire. And
That was the Pulse nightclub.
no, it wasn't a shooting.
Yeah, dog, I'll repair
it was
it, dog.
an actual like firebombing, and a lot of people died because they couldn't get out.
Dude, fire! Now what if someone discombobulates? And then everyone inside says, oh my god.
Yeah, I'll repair you while you He takes more
Do you think that the
damage.
Havana syndrome stuff was like them testing?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, make him
I mean,
run
I
out
remember
and
seeing
die.
stuff on like, I played cookie for school and like watching future weapons.
Yes.
They show like the sonic weapons they were using for like crowd control. I'm like, that's the stuff that we're willing to tell us about on TV 15 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be better.
You know somebody just was really excited to call it discombobulated.
I thought that was just Trump kind of ripping it.
Oh, was it?
I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. I'm sure there's got a military
In
designation.
that case, there's going to be some dude who invented something that he calls like the high energy destruction
Whoa.
Tiod. And
I
now everyone's
lived.
like, how's
The
it
fucking
discombobulated
thing
go?
blew up
It's
and I
it's called
lived.
the Tiod.
I flew.
He's bummed out.
I wanted to say about these guys that are serving with Trump that bought bunkers. I don't think they're panicking. I think they are maybe panicking. I don't think that they're actually moving off of like an intelligence that like there's a threat. I think that these are just a couple of guys that are like, it's cheap, we can do it. They're hitting Iran right now. What better time?
I'd love to know like how many people out of what sample size. Is this like Trump's 2 biggest advisors, or is this like out of 500 people attached to the White House, 2 dudes with money decided we're in a conflict, I should have a bunker? You know, I think that's kind of more what we're following.
How do you feel about this conflict? I mean, we'll probably pull it up. I don't know if we really went too hard and around, but like, what are your thoughts on the regime and the Iranian government and how to handle this?
It's definitely, I don't know. I hate to be a fence sitter on it. Like I would prefer no conflict, frankly. But then you have the other side of the fence where these guys go, well, what did Iran ever do to us? Like, well, okay,
That's
let's.
a lot.
Yeah, how much time do you have? You know. So like I don't know. I prefer, like I said, I don't want to get involved in another forever war. I don't think a lot of this stuff is any of our business. But if we're gonna do it, if we have to do it, I don't have access to the intel. I don't know what they're operating on. I prefer it to be fast, cheap, effective, lowest cost of American life possible. I don't want to be on the ground.
But let me, real quick, sorry. Don't forget what you're going to take. I'm going to show this map and explain about what did Iran ever do to us. Right now, the concerns and the reason price is skyrocketing is because the Strait of Hormuz is under threat by Iran. And you've got these Gulf states. You've got Bahrain, Qatar, the Emirates, you've even got Oman, and the Saudis. And there's a lot of oil here. 20% of oil and natural gas they want to get out to the rest of the world to do business with. You are allowed to sell stuff. That's what they're doing. So Iran, right here, the whole time is basically saying, we will blow you up unless we get what we want. At a certain point, everybody's just like, dude, these a-holes need to be stopped. I'm not advocating for anything that we did in Iran because my concerns are instability in the region, and that could screw the whole thing up even more. My point is only to say that when you have a bunch of different countries that sell 20% of natural gas to the rest of the world.
Oh my
and
god,
they're
the fucking
constantly
chat is hilarious.
by Iran, unless we give Iran free stuff like pallets of cash.
Yeah.
Sooner
That was
or later.
absurd.
Sooner or later, you get an Obama who says, okay, Iran, what do you want? Just don't screw with the oil trade. And so he gives them a bunch of money. Then you get a Trump who says, I'll just kill you. And they're like, well, we can make nukes. He goes, then I'll kill you faster. So pick your leader, right? One leader is going to try and bribe them and pay them off. Doesn't seem to work. They keep blowing up on people. They keep threatening the Strait and oil trade, among other things. And then you get Trump. And I got to be honest, Trump's the kind of guy who's going to... So it is what it is. Right now, we've been seeing reports that ships have been turning off their transponders and moving through the Strait of Hormuz and then turning them back on to try and get past Iranian missile strikes. That's insane. Look, whatever the issue is, I'll put it like this. Call the United States bad for whatever it does in Afghanistan and Iraq, fine. Call Iran bad. There are other countries involved that are pissed off that Iran is shutting down the Strait. And more importantly, when the strikes happened, Iran started bombing Bahrain, Qatar, and the Emirates and these other countries who did not engage in hostilities against them.
Okay, how American military bases, I think, is their justification.
That may be for some, but why bomb a hotel?
Those two guys.
Again, therein lies the problem. If they bombed the military bases, which they did, you'd say, oh, wow, this is war. When they start striking hotels and apartment buildings, you're like, what they're trying to do is get the people. This is what terror is. They want the people in these countries to get angry that they are being targeted in the war, so that they go to their government and put pressure on the government so that the government goes easier on Iran.
Yeah, and I think all those governments knew that because they immediately were like, all right, we're declaring war. Like,
Yeah,
you
well, I
fired a
mean,
missile into our sovereign territory.
Like I said earlier, Iran's been a thorn in the side of multiple countries, not just the U.S., not just Israel. Like, the entire Middle East is basically worried about what Iran's going to do. They're the only
biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world.
They're the only Shiite Muslim country in the area. Everybody else is Sunni, so they're at odds in that aspect. So I mean, look, they're not friendly with most of the countries.
Why does it show me getting unlocked for the shit in Battle Pass if I don't have fucking Battle Pass?
Because there's
I don't
free
even think the majority of the
parts to the
population is
battle
Muslim
pass.
in Iran.
That's how you
Someone
can
was
get
telling
the
me stats
guns.
earlier. They're
They
saying
are.
The camos
is
and
it
stuff.
literal majority
Well,
over
the
51%?
government. Oh yeah, yeah.
The government
it's, it's the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Yeah, the government, but the people
I think we
themselves
just
are like
unlock
they
it
were
slower
free,
since we don't have
you know,
Well, they were
until
almost
79.
secular. They were fairly secular for a good amount
I
of
don't
time.
know,
Like if you look back,
like, if I'm not gonna fucking be able to have it, just don't even show me.
like colleges in like 50s, 60s.
You know, Dan Holloway was telling me it's that
Well, you
they're
can get a
Persian
gun,
first.
like
Most of them are Persian first and Muslim second.
Their religion is Islam, but
they're
they're generally secular Muslims. They're not
Not that
particularly
gun, but
religious.
the one that
I'm
looks
kind
like
of
the
dancing
Scar
around
H
this
with
question,
the
which I was going to
Scar
ask you
L, but
before
it's
Tim asked me to
smaller,
remember it.
that's,
Is
DLC gun.
you said we got to do this and we need to protect American lives at all costs, but like that can get very broad. At all costs metaphor, because would you incinerate 1 million Iranian civilians?
Because well, I think you're kind of mistaking what I was saying. I was saying if we have to do this, let's do it quickly to the least amount of American lives. If it was up to me, like if I had a vote right now, based on the information that I have, which granted is less than they have, not sure if that changes anything, I would vote no. If I was asked if we were going to declare war in Iran, if we would go in ground invasion or like declare an official war, I would vote no. I think we've, you know, I'm typically an anti-war hawk kind of guy, not the way I'm going to do it. However, I feel like my policy on it is very much to make a weird analogy. It's like the Bill Burr bit about like no reason. Like, well, okay, should we do it? No. No reason. It's like I think I'm more irritated by the arguments against it, where they're saying, look, these are just poor. They've never done anything to us. I'm like, all right, well, I'll get to you in a minute. That was started. Yeah.
It's a rocket place because the issue is, I
Yeah,
think, you know,
the missile
it's not
notification.
just the Strait of Hormuz. It's also that Iran's been funding the Houthi rebels in Yemen, who have been bombing
Missile
the Red Sea.
notification.
Down here, where the ships are trying to come on in, let's see where they head up through the Suez into the Mediterranean. Iran has basically been disrupting a massive amount of global trade. And Obama tried
900 out of 1,000
give them some
damage.
money and tell them to chill out, but they have not chilled out. Attacking us in Iraq, I get it. The United States should not have been in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I gotta be honest, I think the point of going to Iraq and Afghanistan was largely to stage a pincer strike around Iran. You know, we've got military bases all along the edges. But Iran has been, look, at any point, if Iran was like, no, we're not going to interfere with global trade, no one cares about Iran. Yep. So for that matter, if we zoom over here, I'll tell you all about
Dude, I swear this is the funnest shit to do, man.
Here we have Nicaragua. China was trying to build the Nicaraguan Canal. They wanted to build it straight through here, and it would have disrupted, I believe it was whatever this is, Lake Coquibolga, is that what it is? Or it might have actually been up here. But they wanted to build a canal that would compete with the Panama Canal. And this was some 10 years ago. They ultimately abandoned the project after it just like cost an insane amount of money. The reason why Trump wanted Panama back, the reason why Trump wants control of the he wants Iran shut down, basically. The reason he wants Greenland, it's all about controlling international waterways for trade, for oil. The United States tells the world one thing. You will use the U.S. dollar for all oil purchases, which means our economy is going to be great no matter what, because you got to use our money to buy oil, which means you got to come to us first. However, they say, in exchange, you will be able to freely trade around the world without someone blowing you up. We'll go after the pirates, we will police the seas. This is, I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying this is the mechanism of the United States and why we have a strong economy despite not producing as much as other countries do relatively. We have the petrodollar system. So when you get countries complaining, we can't ship goods to the Red Sea anymore because of the Houthi rebels, Trump goes to Iran and says, are you going to stop arming these guys who are blowing up civilian transport? And they go, maybe, give us money. And Trump says, no, I'll kill you. When they threaten the Strait of Hormuz, Trump's not playing a game like Obama says, no, I'll kill you. Now, if you're not a fan of the Team America World Police stuff, that opinion was always allowed. I am not telling you you should support any of this. I am telling you this is the mechanism by which all of this is happening. The reason why they're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's pretty clear that America lives, or the living standard that Americans have is because of the petrodollar. And if we were to change that system, it would be a massive change in the living standard of all Americans. And as much as people will say, oh, I don't want to see the U.S. to be the world police, as long as the U.S. is the world police, we should continue to do things that will try to keep the U.S. living standard as high as possible. Because you think that poverty's bad in other countries. If the petrodollar goes away, you're going to see a significant decrease in living standard. That means the poor are the ones that are going to be hurt the most here in the U.S.
And I've got to give a shout out to my boy Nick, the Fat Electrician, real quick, because he had a very good video breaking down the history of why America went after it. And just the long storied history since just after, I believe, the Civil War, attempting to purchase the Greenland territory and the reasons that we had interest there, especially with the strike capabilities later on.
And my flares didn't even
having
work.
that ability,
Like,
because I think we came to an agreement after the end of
saved
World War
all.
II, because during World War II, obviously, they were overtaken, and we had placed American bases in Greenland. So
I just think that
Wow,
the
yeah,
United
negative
States
health,
is the nexus of good and morality. Has never done anything wrong, and for that matter, if the U.S. does it, it is good. That's just, it's the definition.
It's magic.
I have a bit more of a nuanced take. I do think that the liberal economic order that is
I
overseeing this,
flipped him upside
elusive
down.
global takeover is the least worst global order
Fucking
we've
piece
ever
of
seen
shit.
in human history. It's been 80 years of no world war, limited. The internet, the amount of
Sex trafficking,
there hasn't been a famine.
islands.
There hasn't been a famine in like 80 years. I don't think there's been a famine in like 150 years in the United States, if that, maybe even more, ever in the United States. So it's pretty impressive. Like,
My job is done, dog. Where's another tank?
Delivery systems so that we can spread resources out. I think this system could work.
well, so I actually was having this conversation the other day because I'm like, look, is America perfect? No, absolutely not. It never has been. But I think that right now the United States, as it stands, in possibly the history of humanity, has the most power, like the most might to good ratio.
Just gonna wait for the next tank to
freedom of
respond.
its individual citizens, to how little we leverage it against the world for nefarious purposes. I think this is probably, again, the most power to good ratio that has ever existed on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you put the kind of military might that the U.S. has in the hands of, I don't know, the Huns, I think that there would have been significant difference.
I have a question. I brought this up this morning. It was a hypothetical on Reddit. They have these hypothetical scenarios they ask in the comment. And it is this. The question is for you, Mr. Herrera. You wake up one day with all the powers of Superman. You are super strong, you can fly, you can shoot lasers and breathe cold for whatever reason, and all that good stuff. However, once per year, a random person on Earth could be in any country anywhere, will also get these powers. You are informed a full year in advance who that person will be. And the only way to stop them from getting the powers is to kill them before they do. What do?
Does that save... Does that stop it from going to a random different person after that? Once per year?
So the idea is, on January 1st, a random person in the world will get these powers as well. You always know who it's going to be. After that person dies, the next January 1st, there will be one more person. So it's one person per year.
Got it.
And the hypothetical scenario is, will you kill them to prevent them from getting Superman powers as Superman?
Do you also have those powers while they have them?
Yes. So people will just start popping up and getting them all over the world if you do nothing.
I don't like that. That's a very, very rough moral question. Because I mean, the obvious, the mathematical answer to that is, at some point, somebody's going to have those powers and use it to kill thousands of people. So it's like all this is like a Reddit version of the trolley problem.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
It is an interesting question as it pertains to war and superpowers because you look at it from the perspective of not Superman, but you're a global, world-dominating hegemonic power. You know another country is rapidly gaining power. You can blow them up right now to prevent them from doing it. However, if you don't, they will rival you then, and now there will be... That's essentially what the scenario is meant to be. The challenge with the Superman question is that what if it's an Islamic extremist? And now he's immortal, invincible, and he's going to start massacring not thousands, but millions of people. And you can't stop it because you only match him. You'll be locked in a fight endlessly, and the collateral damage will probably still make the millions. And so the ultimate question is, I feel like this is a question to try and explain geopolitics at a grand scale to children, aka Redditors, adult men who have the mentality of children.
The Funko Pop breed.
Yeah, indeed.
It would be a good plot for a supervillain.
Oh, bro, Ian would just, he would be like, I'll kill him.
And they're like, why are you doing this? And he's like, you don't understand, I have to. And they're like, he's psychotic, he's lost his mind.
No. You're Superman, meaning you're Superman.
Yes.
So it's 2 in the morning, whatever country they're in. You flash in their room, laser beam into their eyes, and then flash out. And then people come in the morning, and the person's just dead.
When you're Superman, you don't have to explain yourself.
I would try. But then at the end of my life as Superman, they'd be like, oh yeah, by the way, it was all a lie. They were all going to be just normal people.
Well, now you're changing the...
You just went around killing people.
You're ruining the plot twist of your own movie.
I should do that in the movie, yeah.
No, actually, that is a great plot twist where the guy tells people, you don't understand, if I don't do this, they will develop powers, and then we will have superpowered terrorists. You can't control them.
They're 3 weeks away from Superman powers.
Yeah, and then finally on his deathbed, he's like, I made it all up. I just wanted to kill somebody. Just liked killing.
He's
got to get out of my system.
He's 3 weeks away. Okay, let's do it. That's a funny movie. Now he'd be like the villain. He wouldn't be the main character, but that would be his motivation.
The villain, he's just a serial killer. He makes a fake excuse.
Well, that's what the United States basically has been doing. They stomp down on anybody that's starting to rise up, and then if they get too far too fast, like North Korea, they just don't stomp down because they got intercontinental ballistic nuclear missiles.
Well, let's jump this story real quick, and let's talk about that, Ian. Trump floats friendly takeover of Cuba, but says it may not be friendly either. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my birthday, and the only thing I've ever wanted, my whole life, I remember being a little kid, sitting in my living room, just looking out the window at the stars in the sky, thinking, I just want to conquer Cuba. And now, on this, my 40th birthday, Trump has floated a not-so-friendly takeover. Mr. President, thank you so much. That's all I ever wanted. Do you agree? Should we invade and conquer Cuba?
I would like to see Cuba as part of the American empire. I shouldn't call it an empire. It's meant to be cheap. I would like to see Cuba not under the control of communist dictators.
Well, they don't have any power right now, so they're not in control of anyone.
I'd like to see them sovereign citizens in Cuba with the right...
Puerto Rico style.
Perhaps, yeah. Gun rights, property rights, the right to freedom of speech, to speak out against your government, and if you want to participate in the United States, like, I'm willing to open the door to those people, for sure.
I like that joke where it was like, waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay sounds really fun until you read about it.
Until you know what either of those two things are.
Yeah. Waterboarding and Guantanamo.
I don't know, I think we might have squandered that one in the Spanish-American War.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think that the U.S. is going to actually need to take Cuba. If I understand the news reports coming out, they haven't had power in something like a week, and the people are rising up like America says.
It's like fucking
rise up in Iraq, or say they were going to rise up in Iraq. They're literally pissed.
Cutting off, taking Maduro and seizing back our oil assets in Venezuela.
Oh,
Cuba is now cut off from oil. And so the people are basically at this point saying, I don't care who the boss is, I care about who's got the power. Think about it, that's the easy way to conquer a nation. The people are probably saying, I don't care if you think you're in charge. Like, they're
Yes!
You put it like this. You work for a
F-22
company,
better than
and you got a
fucking
boss who's like,
SU-57.
you put
Wow.
us, you're under contract. And then all of a sudden, the paychecks stop coming. You're like, I don't care what you do at this point.
And if you're working and they're paying you sometimes, and
Dude,
all
my
of a sudden
fucking
some
plane
foreign
doesn't
entity wants to
work,
pay
so-
you a bigger contract, you're like, why am I still taking this? Give me something. Like, what is the purpose of me staying in this contract anymore? You've been fucking me over for 80 years, Castro. So Raul, what is like 90? What's his brother? Is it Raul?
No, it's Miguel.
Is a new guy?
Miguel.
Yeah, they're done. The Castro regime, all that country had holding it together. Look at the.
I want to just stress this to the people in chat who are like, oh my god. No,
Bro, I'm gonna try to get banned from this game too. Dude, he just blew up.
for you not understanding what was meant to be facetious.
Oh my god, dude, this shit is so fun.
That was the joke.
I don't think it needs to invade Cuba. I think the Cubans have long wanted away from that communistic dictatorship, and now with their oil supplies running out, they see de facto.
It's looking like the op in Venezuela was.
Yo,
successful
he's
on
still.
multiple
What?
fronts. Maduro, the current
Wow.
Venezuelan regime.
I just
well,
rammed
the
a
current- yeah, the
helicopter.
current Venezuelan government is
He
looking
took
to
no
normalize
damage.
relations, if I understand correctly. The vice president there is saying that she's going to work with the United States, and it's
What,
also
did you
looks like
have
it's
you
gonna
killed
take
someone yet?
Cuba out.
I
And look,
also saw bets on the.
Yeah,
State of the Union as to
everybody's
whether or not,
pissed at me,
Trump was
dude.
going to parade out Maduro behind him on a chain.
I wanted to see him come out with like the gimp mask from
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction. You know, just
From,
out the
from
gimp.
Ye's interview with Alex Jones.
But yeah, I mean, look, Cuba's been a communist country for I don't know how many years, and if the communist rule ends there, that's a good thing. And I think it's an
Indeed.
unmitigated good thing.
Can you imagine if, before all this is done, if Trump pulls off in Iran what he pulled off in Venezuela? This is the thing I was saying. Like, you know, I was asked by a reporter at the Wall Street Journal how I felt about, you know, the attacks on Iran, the war, and I said I'd advise against it. I wouldn't vote to support it. I oppose it, and I think it's because we have post-intervention stress disorder as millennials from Iraq and Afghanistan. And not to mention the stories of Vietnam. We do not trust
Nice,
that these
dude.
operations are going to play
Thanks
out
for getting our teammate killed.
the way
Let's go.
they claim they will. Nor do we trust the reasons for going in and doing
I'm gonna
it.
keep
That
ramming
being
these
said, if Trump is able
tanks.
to pull off a regime change without a ground invasion in Iran, which would surprise the hell out of me if he could, people are going to be very, very happy about it. And so when all this is said and done, Venezuela is looking like said and done. I mean, it's pretty crazy. If Iran ends up the same way, and then Cuba falls into the U.S. fold, Trump's going to go down in history as one of the greatest presidents, not the greatest president we've had ever.
Well, at that point, it becomes a legacy. Certainly.
Maybe why he wants to do it all. Maybe, you know, with the Abraham Accords, I think Trump very much was like, I can bring peace to Israel-Palestine. Now, I'm not sure that he actually can, but I think Trump is looking at the world stage saying, I can solve this. And perhaps it's ego-driven. Perhaps it's, I want to be the guy who did. Or maybe it's ego-driven in the sense that I'm smarter than you and I can figure it out better than you. Either way, if it happens, I'll be happy.
Frankly, I don't care what the rationale is. If he can get it done, an objectively good thing, I don't care why he's doing it. If he can be the guy who gets it done, then by all means.
You know, if Israel gave Trump $1 billion personally to bring peace to the world, I wouldn't care.
Oh my god,
I don't
man.
care the motivation.
The
as long
bold
as it's-
statement
It
with
is,
our
the
chat.
point, the
wanna
point
play
is,
this?
think of the most, like...
I want to keep
offensive
trolling
thing.
people in tanks.
The most
Okay, I'll do that.
offensive thing, like Trump is secretly getting paid cash in the back room by Israel for foreign policy that brings peace to the world, ends...
Attention, our troops are attacking Delta.
Dog. Dog, you there? Yo, dog, you there? Dog.
Your dog, you still there?
Yeah.
You still playing?
I just went to YouTube, but I don't know where the fuck you went, but you got kicked out of the game. Still want to play?
Sure.
Right.
I went and put
What
a
the
wash in.
fuck happened? Fucking took a shit? Oh.
I said I went to put a wash in.
I thought you said you went to the washroom. Yeah.
On the far right, I guess. I don't know where you're gonna put me.
Oh, if you said far left, I'd be more worried. Now I know we're gonna win.
Well,
Okay, then we won't. Well,
Enjoy.
all right, it's fun to have you. We'll have a
Thank
good time. John Rocker's here.
How you doing? Good to see you again, Tim.
Lean up into that microphone, brother.
We don't have the.
You do whatever you gotta
I'm
do.
gonna sit like this because I don't move around so good.
Let me see if I can lengthen that
Yeah,
cord.
the stem cells. I got stem cells.
Oh, did you really?
About a month ago, and yeah,
Like an injection?
it's still the inflammation.
See,
It's
why
your
aren't there jets on
favorite
this map?
The pain
There we
is
go.
the pain, the
Hey, there
crankiness.
you go.
because it's forbidden airspace, dog.
Aged, old, I don't know, or is it the stem cells? Or it's
Well,
like
this
eating my
map
body
with
from
the
inside. I
with the
don't really know.
vector isn't actually that
What I
bad.
do know,
just stay
I'm
in the
very
middle
impressed
and
is I actually
insta-kill
got
people.
invited back somewhere twice.
Yes,
This is
right.
my third stint on the Tim Pool show. I appreciate that.
We enjoy your presence.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
fun. Yeah.
At least every 6 months you do. Every
Yeah,
6
that's right.
months, you gotta wear us off. Like, yeah, we got that guy.
I'm glad he's gone, and after a while we start to miss you. And
come back
you know,
again.
it's like when you break up with a girlfriend, you remember all the good times, and then you start. Why did we even ask him to
As
leave?
soon as he walks back in the door, you're like, nah, we're right.
Oh yeah, that's
It
what
was the
happened.
smell.
That's what it is.
Indeed. Well, let's start with the news. Let's jump right into it. We've got this from the New York Times. Unlike past U.S. conflicts, Iran attack is opposed by most Americans. And you know what I love about this? I find
Allah
it very,
Akbar.
very hard to believe that people in this country just generally like war. But that's what they're claiming, and they'll tell you that. I have to realize that maybe introduction was largely the Bible, but I just kind of feel like they're just saying this and whatever he does is wrong. But we do have this clip from Joe Rogan that's making it around. Where, you know, I will.
Are you flying?
That this funny that it only matters to people that Joe says.
Dude, if this map didn't play like shit, it'd be so cool.
I mean, I look at all of them.
Nice.
What did the Iraq war? 76%. There were protests everywhere.
Yeah, well, after we had the incubator baby hoax that they came in.
No. That was the incubator baby thing was in the 90s, wasn't it?
Was that
Yeah,
the,
that's
that was
03
the
Iraq
Gulf War?
Yeah, it was very popular in the beginning because I thought he had weapons of mass destruction. Literally, so we were like, well,
Wait, who told us they had
the news. I remember seeing it in 2003 on the news.
One guy.
There was one guy who came in and did not know. I know you guys might know him.
The two doctors blockers.
No, it was Mr. Benji Netanyahu came down to Congress and yeah,
I've never heard of this man. There's
very strange enigma.
seems like just from his name sounds like a good guy.
Sure.
Benji. Let me play this clip of Rogan because look, I understand a lot of people are like, we get it, you know, Joe Rogan. Well, this clip has been going around because Joe represents, for most partisans, the middle ground. So liberals are taking this as if to say, like, aha, this proves it.
Which just seems so insane based on what he ran. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed. Like, he ran on wars and these stupid wars, and one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it. But just seems so insane.
And that's the gist of it's going around. Mehdi Hassan chimed in, saying, and Rogan believed him and endorsed him. Indeed. And what I love about this, Dave Smith is taking the opportunity to rag on Mehdi Hassan in a quite verbose way, pointing out that he himself is anti-war, but when the anti-war left returned on the issue of Gaza, he says, I never thought to start lecturing them about voting for Biden in order to have myself on back and foolishly pretend that this proves their idiocy or guilt or whatever. I'm just happy that they were good on such an important issue. And I agree with Dave on this. What Mehdi Hassan has done, and I think it kind of proves the point. Do people really, are they really mad at Trump over this war? Are they really, actually, I'll tell you this. Did people actually really ever support any of these other wars? Because I find that very hard to believe. And I think largely the criticism right now is that it's Trump doing it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always Trump doing it that gets the criticism, right? Like, people that don't like Trump, it doesn't matter what the policy is. It's just that they don't like Trump, and so they're just going to use whatever the policy at hand is as a way to criticize Trump. Now, I mean, there is legitimate criticism from the right, people that said, you know, we don't want new wars, we don't want to be involved, like that's legitimate stuff. But people like Mehdi Hassan are totally disingenuous. It doesn't matter what Trump does. I mean, Trump could cure cancer, and Mehdi would be like, well, you know, cancer's really not all that bad. It's just totally disingenuous.
Holy
fine
fuck,
while
this
we're
thing
there.
flies like a
Really?
fucking job of the
I
hot,
think
man.
Trump has done a fairly good job
Nice.
of doing that. And furthermore,
Enemy forces have
it's
secured
Iran.
an advantage.
We know their place in the world for the last damn near 5 decades. Did we even really need to explain why we're there? It's kind of obvious it knows when you're placed. Yeah, that's why we're there.
I think the social media psyop campaigns, manipulation, constant foreign interference, all of the stuff genuinely has people fractured in the United States, not really understanding what Iran is, what they do internationally. TikTok being a great example. I certainly understand the criticism that people have over TikTok. The reason why it was banned in the first place and then purchased was because it was deliberately and by its own code anti-Israel. That, many people would argue, is like, okay, fine, what's the problem? Well, the problem is a Chinese-owned company is intentionally interfering in American politics and social media. Buying it for the purpose of being pro-Israel, I would say is only slightly less bad. We don't want our community to be fooled. We don't
I don't think I've ever been to this part of the
by
map.
the government to get
Yeah,
us
it's in
to
this-
support things
these are
that
the
are
houses I'm
bad,
talking
that we
about.
don't want to support. At the same time, everything I think we're seeing with public perception on the Iran war, on the issue of Israel, is rooted in conflict between the United States and its adversaries. And Israel is a principal military component of the United States. So you're going to have China, Russia, Iran, or
In
otherwise.
that area, sure it is. But even Iraq, Afghanistan, etc., started back in 1991. You knew this day with Iran was coming. Whether it's going to be today, tomorrow, or kick the can down the road for another 30 years, you knew it was coming. And, you know, this is going to be...
Fucking piece of shit.
I would say as a war, it's not so much a war when one side's doing all the damage and the other side... Would you call a bar fight if one person just got the living excrement kicked out of them and the only shots the other guy took was a kick at your ankle and playing with
No, that's not fair.
That's not
fair. I would describe it as a bar fight where one guy punched another guy, so he turned around and started punching him. Iran's targeting hotels and civilian targets. They did strike some bases.
Yeah, and you know what? They're trying to rally their fellow Muslims in the area to lean on America. But this fight was coming at some point in time. And would you rather have this fight with Iran's been getting, you know, kicked at them for the last better part of 18 months, whether it be Israel, whether it be us, you know, back in August, September. No. Yes. Midnight Hammer.
Wait, why do we have beef with Iran?
Oh boy. We talked about it quite a bit.
No, this is a serious, dead serious question. Why do we have beef with Iran?
Simple version. Because Ian, theocracy isn't the answer.
No, I was going to tell you that.
So the answer is that 20% of the world's natural gas and oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran keeps threatening to bomb it. They also supply weapons to Houthi rebels in Yemen to bomb cargo ships and trade going through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. The U.S. deal with the world is you use U.S. dollars to buy oil. We
Nice.
That's the overly simple reason. So
Yeah, watch where you're
Iran
going,
tells
dog.
the United States, we are going to bomb, trade oil or otherwise, unless you give us stuff. You get a Barack Obama, and what does he do? He says, we will give you whatever you want. Please just don't do this. And so he sends them the $12 million for the cash.
The British got in there like
Then you get Donald Trump, who says, I'm not going to send you money anymore. Stop and don't threaten us or I'll kill you. And then they, apparently in the meeting, negotiating with Trump where they said, we have enough fissile material for 11 bombs, and that's where we're starting the negotiation. And Trump said, if you're not going to stop threatening the region, I will just blow you up. And that's what he did. I'm not saying you should support it, I'm saying those are the reasons.
These are that's the modern era since the Shah, since the theocracy got in power. But in the 20s, the British got in there and started siphoning their oil out of there. And then in the 50s, there's this guy Mossadegh, who the Iranians diplomatically, you know, democratically elected. And then the CIA essentially had him overthrown because he wanted to renationalize the oil
Nice.
supply.
For the Shah.
Yeah, and then they got him overthrown and they put a king in, the Shah, the son of their old king. But they were, you know, supporting it like a proxy until 1979. Then there was a revolution on the street because he was basically corporatizing Iran and making like there used to be street vendors and it was very like, and then he made big shopping malls and they destroyed local. Let me finish. I got a couple more things.
Okay, I understand, but this is not relevant to the modern context. We could talk about the history of Persia and the Empire and go back to years like that, but that's not relevant to what's going on right
Sum
now.
up what you're saying. Basically, Iran's threatening to bomb the Strait with oil. They've done it.
Yes.
And what's their reason? Why do they say they're going to do that? They're not
Well,
not
so
about...
there's the petrodollar system, which is a component of what's called the liberal economic order. After World War II, the United States,
I know
Britain,
all about that.
You know all about the liberal economic order?
Absolutely.
That's the petrodollar system. Iran says, shove it up your ass. So we said, okay, how about no? And Obama's strategy was, fine, then here's what we'll do. We will give you money and we will support you, just don't disrupt what we're doing in the Gulf and in the Red Sea. And they said, okay. And in the meantime, they're developing, they're enriching uranium. Now, there's two legitimate views on this. I should say there's
Dude,
the
like,
overt.
I can't even
media will
fucking
tell
see
you
them.
What Trump will tell you, and then there is the more. You have to be in the politics to really understand this. The issue with nuclear energy isn't about Iran getting a nuclear bomb for the most part. It's about them getting access to clean, efficient, high energy return on energy investment sources. If Iran is able to increase their energy output, they're going to expand their military capabilities, further threatening the region. They've been funding militia.
Fucking tank is right there.
Alpha has been captured by hostiles. Our attack on Alpha is in progress.
The region, who?
The Middle
Exactly.
East. So basically, international oil production. Again, I'm not saying you have to support this. I'm saying
Oh no, that's
this
fine.
Is, this is what they're doing.
I'm trying to get clear because
Yeah, if you don't support Israel,
I don't think you would have called me if that was the deal, because I think all my positions are pretty clear for anybody who's had any interaction.
Iran is supplying weapons and resources to groups that are militarized, and they destabilize the region.
So Israel doesn't care about this at all, is what you're saying? They're just here to help us?
What do you mean? Of course they care. Israel's very ideologically motivated against Iran
Because
religious
I'm trying to get my brain around between what you're saying versus what we're getting from the media. And what
Ooh, direct impacted him in the fucking vehicle.
they're
Holy fuck.
building, they're weeks away
That
from
is
the
fucking
nuclear
terrible,
bomb. For
man.
39 years, they've been weeks away from getting the nuclear bomb, and they're going to use it, and they're going to use it against us.
But that's not for you.
Oh, it didn't kill him. Nice,
That's
man.
for people who follow people like Candace Owens. Right?
I don't want to take shots at him.
And then I did
Take shots at him.
more damage to him.
Like, the thing about mass audience is you need low content.
Okay, this game is fucking faggot horrible, dude.
My point is not to shift away from talking about Candace. For the reason why George W. Bush says the hands for our freedom, it's because he sent a message to maximize effectiveness, which means when you look at the IQ bell curve, the top 1% is going to say that's the stupidest thing.
Oh, I jump shotted them. Fucking RPG over a wall. That was fucking dirty.
With the lower IQ people being like, wow. So Trump's going to come out and say,
Oh, I
if
got
they
killed
build a
the guy
nuclear
that killed
bomb,
me.
it's a bomb
Fucking
people.
revived. Oh, where are
And
you?
that's somewhat true. But the real risk is, if Iran has a nuclear bomb, they have leverage.
Yeah, that was
The
that
leverage
kill
they
was
will
sick.
use to extract more resources and continually be an affront to the liberal economic order and the petrodollar system. I don't believe Iran would actually nuke Israel or in the immediate anybody, but the liberal economic order system, Trump military industrial complex, don't want to negotiate with nuclear power in the region. They want to negotiate with a regional power.
Right.
And so when they go to them and they say, we're going to enrich uranium, there's two key components. We are going to have clean, high density energy, which means our economy is going to expand rapidly outside of your sanctions, which means more people, more weapons, more bombs, and more leverage. Additionally, if we get a nuke, and we
Tank
have
is right there.
11 of those, you are now negotiating with the nuclear power. Trump says,
that way?
I'm not going to do that, I'm going to kill you. That's
That's a
what
huge indicator you're right. The whole thing is about leverage. I do have to disagree with you on they wouldn't nuke anybody. They're sending missiles right now in the hotels in Saudi Arabia.
Indeed, so
Killing
let me
innocent
clarify what I'm
women,
saying.
children, civilians, and
Let me clarify. Let me clarify. I'm saying Iran's not going to wantonly just start launching bombs.
What the fuck is in that pool, dog?
They absolutely will use nuclear weapons. That's the point of not wanting to have to negotiate with nuclear power like Iran. Their Islamic fundamentalists quite literally have in their hadith that the Jews must be killed. And so, by all means, they're not the only dangerous ideology.
Well,
Oh, the tank is there.
Start going into what far extremists of certain religions hold, because we have a problem with Israel as far as extremism.
Yo, you got ammo or are you not that class?
Criticize Israel. But Islam literally has an idea that the end will not come until they kill
Oh shit, it's right there.
Explosive at the extreme right on the side, right?
This is
Yeah,
not the
he just
extreme
got
right of
absolutely
Islam. This is
fucking
literal
joked.
blanket all Islam.
Okay, but who's Benjamin Netanyahu's little clique that's actually running the Israeli government right now has in their extreme religious view, along with our Pete Hegseth and their little evangelical, whatever, have this extreme point of view that until for the Jews, until Europe is destroyed, their Moshiach won't come back.
I gotta go. Hold on, I'll be back. I gotta go empty my fucking. I don't know what that was called.
Hostiles still hold more objectives.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
We are engaging objective Alpha.
Goy slaves each, they've got an extreme policy that's also motivating them.
Indeed,
So I
and
think we got a problem on both ends here.
Well, I would disagree. I would argue that there are a lot of fundamentalist ideologies. My response to the issue of Israel is we shouldn't be giving them any money. We shouldn't be involved in their conflicts or whatever it may be. The principal reason why...
When's that going to happen?
Never, because
Never.
there are military bases in the Suez Canal. Just like we want control of Panama, we want control of Greenland, we need control near the Suez. And we've got Egypt, who gets billions of dollars from the U.S. government for their military because they allow us to control the Suez, and Israel is effectively our military base.
So you're
when
saying, your position is that Israel is working for us in the Middle East.
Israel is 100% working for us.
Okay, so how many of their representatives do we fund? How many of their representatives do we fund?
Probably a decent amount, actually.
Do we have a, equivalent of APAC?
How much money does the U.S. give to Israel every year?
A lot.
And you think that money is not used for propping up their government?
That money is used to return back and buy our cars.
It is absolutely a component. See, that the issue with the hyper-focus on Israel is it ignores all of the other operations the U.S. is doing, as if Israel is dictating our policy on Greenland and like northern Canada.
How many of our congressmen are pro-Israel? How many of our congressmen? Pretty much. Minus 6 who don't get any.
How many of them are pro-Ukraine?
Same problem. Same problem.
Did Netanyahu go like, I want control?
We're gonna take over Ukraine too.
Who's the president of Ukraine right now?
The president?
Well, the guy. Who's the guy?
Do you mean the prime minister?
I don't give a shit. What's his name? Zelensky?
Right.
Wow, that guy is absolutely
He's
fucking
Ukrainian?
seething right now.
Okay. So you're not going to be honest then?
What do you what?
Do
The
we
dude
want
is
to
from
do
Ukraine.
an early life check on Zelensky? Do we want to do that right now?
Is he not from Ukraine?
Oh, he's from Ukraine.
Okay.
But does he identify as Ukrainian, or does Benjamin Netanyahu identify as Polish, where he's from? No.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
challenge you about
Where
whether or
I
not
hit
it's
the
illegal,
ground.
too, but like the U.S. Didn't initiate the war in Ukraine.
Good for
Like,
you,
Russia
dog.
did.
Hold on a second. What did Russia say? They said if you keep setting up your NATO bases at my border, we're gonna go in, didn't we? And we were like,
that's
you
what he
mean
said,
like putting it right here?
But listen, Putin was after Ukraine forever. They look at Ukraine as part of Russia.
Well, because there's a huge part of people that overlap that are both they speak both Ukrainian and Russian, and there's a huge group of people that actually identify as
So
Russian.
let me ask you:
But it's besides the point, because I actually don't think we should be involved with either one of them.
indeed, and so the issue I bring up when you mention that you don't
like Texas and Mexico.
so here's
overlap Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Texas
Yeah,
and
Allah
now
Akbar.
we've
Mexican
got
there in
Mexicans
Texas
trying
and
to do
there.
I'm gonna aim for the pool.
When they,
Indeed.
when the
So
oligarchs
real
split
quick,
up.
I want to answer the point you made about when I'm talking about Islam and literally in the Hadith saying the end will not come until the Jews, until the tree and the rock say there's a Jew.
I got this, bro.
1.8 billion Muslims.
Oh, first of all,
Did I
if
just-
you want me
okay,
to
never
defend Islam, you picked the wrong girl.
And so,
Because
right, so
100%
I didn't even want to
Islam
deploy the parachute. I don't know why the fuck they did that.
you're comparing a nation of what? How many people are in Israel?
It's fucking
14?
gay.
No, it's not that much.
No, I'm talking about Jews.
The diaspora itself is 14 million, but Israel's substantially smaller.
Well. Hold on a second, because it's forbidden to take an
Allah.
actual census in Judaism. It's forbidden to take that. They base their population based on active synagogue participation. Actually, so the estimate, no, so
2020 in
no, their 14 to 15 million is based off of active synagogue participation.
2026, the population of Israel was 9,500,000.
Do you think Zelensky was put in there by Jews?
Absolutely.
No, I'm talking about the
Well, I think they want to build a little pathway between
Damn, where'd you guys go, dog?
what control?
I just
See, this issue.
I jumped in the
Can I learn
pool.
you some things? No. Okay. Then I won't. Far be it from me to tell a woman what to think.
absolutely not. This is the age of pure retarded womanhood, and I'm gonna take advantage.
You've been doing a good job.
Thank you.
And they split
Dog
up, so
revive.
whoever the oligarchs were that decided that
Revive me.
gave it to the Ukrainians because they wanted
Dog just revived me.
the country, take away its legitimature, didn't become hegemonic.
No,
Nice.
dude.
No access to the Black Sea. So
Why didn't you fucking hold up?
gave it to the Ukraine. Probably, money, guys, oligarchs. I don't know
gave
who they were.
up.
Let's find out. And Russia's like, bro, you can't get into the
Bleeding
Mediterranean.
out, dog.
Partition of the U.S. and gave a little strip all the way to Canada, all the way down the coast. You think we wouldn't invade to take Pacific Coast access back? We would. And so the Russians want their Black Sea access.
Don't touch me.
To be fair, it's not like I want Russia to have that, because Russia, I'm ethnically Albanian, and Russia empowered a bunch of Serbs to go into my country and start genociding my people. So I'm not necessarily like pro give Russia access.
This spot's
to the
pretty
Black Sea,
lit.
But it's kind of disingenuous to say Russia just invaded Ukraine out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well,
they
no one's saying that, but
didn't
I'll tell you
Russia.
what I think. I think that the military-industrial complex was facing a big challenge in the 2010s,
Wow,
and that
actually,
was
yeah.
you can look at the rise of LDD.
They couldn't figure out.
No, they couldn't control people like Alex Jones, who were actually aside from the more wacky things out
Dog,
there,
I need to
starting
be
to actually
removed.
crack through their psychological operations.
Yo,
So it got to a point
Obi-Wan
where-
Kenobi for the fucking
The
win.
information was leaking at an alarming rate, especially with the could not control it with the internet. However, what you just said about why Israel wants a corridor to Ukraine
Get
is
me the
like,
fuck out of here.
I want to try to refrain from being mean, but like made
still wanna
up
play?
internet BS, right?
Do you, dude?
Listen, all I peddle is made up internet
I guess
BS.
one
Well,
day.
there you go.
So if you're not
So
gonna
let's help
let
out the
me
people.
bring what my field of expertise is,
Like Candace.
then first of all, Candace is doing a better job. Shout out Candace, dude. Hook me up with your fucking production team, because I can spin a yarn. And second of all, I don't think everything Candace is saying is wrong.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh man, I'm a little wacky.
Look,
She claimed my brother tried to kill me, and people believe this.
how dare you speak out against a powerful black woman? That's all I have to say. Okay?
Well,
this
you've
is
never seen
that
this show before.
old Asian African tribal warfare that's going on right now. You have Korean, right, or something?
Dog, I want you to stream, but just read the book,
and randomly we
dog.
learned through DNA that
Out
100%
loud.
Japanese, if you know what that means.
What does that mean?
The rape of Nanking.
Oh, dog, it's ASMR, dog.
Japanese were crazy.
Yeah, they
Koreans
really wow,
don't
that sounds like fucking
consensually
retarded.
have part Japanese in them for the most part. I love it because Japanese people get really mad at me when I say that. I'm part Japanese. You can't do anything about it now. It's what you get.
Correct, Sensei.
Okay, so real quick, for the listeners at home to understand why the Ukraine war happened, it's because there's a series of countries the U.S. wanted to overthrow for a variety of reasons. One of the principal reasons for the Ukraine war is the Qatar-Turkey pipeline, where the U.S. wanted to build an oil pipeline through Iraq, through Syria, Turkey, into Europe to offset Russia's Gazprom gas monopoly. They control 20% of natural gas into Europe through Ukraine. Bashar al-Assad told the United States, sorry, I won't let you do this. We are allied with Russia. They have a naval base in Tartus. So this
is the guy in Turkey.
No, this is Bashar al-Assad in Syria.
Okay, all right.
And so the U.S. then went, he's a terrorist who needs to be killed. And then Barack Obama started sending weapons to the rebels, which eventually become ISIS, destabilizing the region in the hopes that Assad will move to power, and then we can resume the construction of our natural gas pipeline. The principal issue is that for Europe to get energy, they principally have to get it from Russia, who charges a lot of money for it, which gives Russia economic power and it gives them negotiating power. It has nothing to do with Israel, nothing to do with Zelensky. The issue was that
But come on, bro. Yeah. It's less than 2% of the population, and this is who happens to get elected?
No. I mean, Barack Obama represented less than 3% of the population. He got elected too.
Wait, are you saying he represented less than 3% because he was mixed race? Well, that's not the way people saw it.
No, of course, I agree.
So he represented
less
every
than 13%.
He represented every non-white and every self-hating white.
Sure. The point I'm making is that the United States wanted, I would say,
dog.
Fuck the United States wanted to take, so when we couldn't get the pipeline through Syria, the alternative to that is to control the access point. So you get the bombing of the Nord Stream pipeline, which was Russia's delivery mechanism into Germany, because Donald Trump was pissed off that everyone was trying to get cheaper energy, and when you're fighting Russia, Germany's cutting deals, effectively financing the war in Ukraine, which the whole point of was to get cheaper gas. If we can get Ukraine, and we can cut off Russia from the Black Sea through Sevastopol by taking control of Ukraine, then Russia is going to be severely detrimented economically.
Well, let me ask you something. Why couldn't they just get an ethnic Ukrainian
Dog, I revived you. Nice.
to be the prime minister?
Because I think only people like you care about the Jewish background of Zelensky.
Whoa.
Can't fucking rely on this faggot not to die, dude.
Yeah, he's talking about women. He's talking about women. He's talking about women. Listen to Candace Owens.
Well, I don't listen to Candace Owens. I can't afford her premium subscription. I just see the clips like you did.
That's true. Just the clips.
So you keep it up, and I'm gonna make sure your other news doesn't.
When Israel set this show up, why
I
did
don't
they
even
get a
know what
Korean
that
version?
is. Can't hit it.
Listen, you're obviously quite intelligent, Tim, and you have decided to ally yourself with
Nice.
the forces of evil, and that's okay. And
Are you talking about the Jews?
Everybody thinks you're wearing a beanie because you're hiding a yarmulke under there. I know.
Dude, I don't know why I didn't fucking register the first time.
No, it's completely fault.
I think the danger is
Dog, they're all there.
Zelensky being Jewish it's a correlation, and there is no evidence that anyone did anything, so to speculate sort of.
Oh, he fucking.
Yes, and so I hate myself. I have low IQ anti-Semitism, you understand? And this helps me steer my life right. Just like low IQ racism, right? I see a Mexican and I go, I'm not getting racist, and I cross the street. Now, the Mexican might just be a normal guy, right? But he could be a cholo. And this has helped me in my life. So you're not going to take away the only weapons of self-defense.
Did a Jewish guy try to rape you or
How many
something?
fucking bullets does it take,
listen, I
man?
grew up in the Bronx. Everybody was trying to rape me. Okay?
That's
She was
actually,
doing good back in the
this is
day.
important. This is actually how women think.
Young bloomer,
First
early
of all,
bloomer.
this is a true story, okay?
That Bronx was going.
This is a true story. I grew up in the Bronx. 3 doors down, I had a pedophile neighbor, little pedophile neighbor, who started stalking me.
Some
from the
faggot to show up your spawn point.
Bald
Nice, dude.
no, he was just bald head, looked
Turn
like
12, lost interest.
druggy guy, used to come knock on my door and be like, hey, can you open? I was a smart little kid, so I knew. I was like, oh, my mom told me, like, a lot of people don't want to rape
Some
me.
fucking faggot spawned on me, dude.
And he was like, damn. He was Jewish. So that's when it started. So now, he was a non-functional. You know, his parents, lived in they were in a nice couple. It was so sweet to us. And then he moved. His dad died, and then he moved in, and his mom ended up like aging crazy within a year of him moving in there and dying. And then he started trying to rape me.
So my opinion on all of this is there's a couple different psychological operations we've seen through social media manipulation to get people to support war. And there's also foreign adversaries that try to manipulate social media. There's a lot of weird stuff I couldn't begin to even understand as to why, for instance,
This is going to be about Kim Jong.
it could be if you want it to be.
Did you guys like break up or something?
We were never friends. Yeah, we had a couple of times, and I was like, you know, friendly. But if you want to be about her, then I'll shift. Too late. She broke up.
Don't. Just go.
Why
down.
is it that she's allowed to break all of YouTube's rules and get put on the front page?
It's because she's black, dude. There's different rules for blacks.
She's
Because
got
nobody
she's
listens
got a
to.
hot too.
The other question is, why is the character Kurt suing?
Maybe it's a little WWE
Have
style.
you seen some of the things people have been posting on Threads and Blue Sky?
No, I don't go hang out with gay people.
She's gonna quit join the government. Did you guys see that? She took Charlie Kirk's seat on the board of the Air Force.
Listen, whatever you think about that situation, you got to admit it's a little weird that your husband is publicly executed, and then you're like in red pants doing acrobatics with freaking fireworks. Everybody's gonna feel a little weird about that. Maybe everybody does breathe differently, but they do.
I need that more.
It's a little weird. So
Nice, dude.
No. It's not maybe a little.
Fucking alive,
It's a
man.
little weird.
Yeah, a little. And he said no.
It's like
Fuck.
extremely weird.
Oh, it's extremely weird.
It's quite weird to watch that and then just go, okay, everybody does it. It's weird.
It is.
She's in such a high stress situation. I can't blame her for
Well,
any weird.
I mean, like my thought on that is she's like probably on Xanax. It's just like when I hear moves, I think horses, not zebras.
Fucking faggot's not gonna revive
What
us.
do you think you do when you watch your husband
Why
get
is this
his
fucking faggot
I
down, dude?
don't know because that wasn't even my husband, and that was from
Indeed.
Nice, dude. I'm asking you more
It
though.
was insane what was going on, and everyone's trying to figure out what's happening. I say this with the
Fucking
utmost
faggot
respect
about himself,
to
you
my
know?
friends at Turkey USA.
Damn, he spawned up broke as fuck.
That I'm not trying to be a dick, but I think it's fair to say that a woman who watches her husband get assassinated probably got some mood stabilizers. And so people are like, why is she acting like that? I'd imagine if you watched your husband die with you might be an antidepressant.
Yeah, but it's also got a little bit of the mega church.
She got some.
And so people are like, why is she acting that way? I think, like, women are on antidepressants, and they haven't even witnessed it.
Holy shit, they're all over there.
Why is she acting that way? Because she
Oh, I fucking.
Where are they?
Nice.
Stress will make you, can make you.
Pretty much where you were
One
aiming.
of the problems we have right now in this country is that the Democrats have always been the party, not always, but I would say at least in my lifetime, they've been the party of the masses are really dumb, so say what you have to say so that they vote for you.
Yep.
And Republicans have been the...
It's over, dude.
It's a mixed bag.
Nice.
Now the tank's gonna get away, man.
But the problem is Republicans were always slightly smaller than Democrats, so there was a decent amount of middle-of-the-road people that were hard to swing, and those are your independents for the most part. And so negotiating with them is tough. If you're trying to get support for war, then you're going to go lowest common denominator. They hate us for our freedoms, and you'll get a little bit of both sides, which makes you bigger than that middle of the road that can push things back and forth.
Of course
so
side
when I
eye, no
see
one else
like,
size. The game is fucking
I
retarded.
gotta be honest, like this really low tier, like Zelensky's a Jew stuff, I'm like, man.
That's not even the
Fucking
thing.
faggots
The
10 and 7.
real thing is why we've been at war in the Middle East since the foundation of Israel. We did not go to any war with the Middle East before.
Are you familiar with the Barbary Wars?
It doesn't matter.
There
Let's
was
move on to
conflict.
what I'm talking about. And every single one of these wars has been championed by Mr. Miliyowski, however he says his actual real name, Benjamin Netanyahu. And honestly, look,
Someone, what the fuck?
Fucking faggot.
Americans dying for something that doesn't have anything to do with them.
That's not true.
And yes, it is true.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is
No,
true.
it is completely wrong.
Okay,
And
it's
my
not.
point
Fucking
earlier
faggot's
was
gonna get himself
I've been
killed,
tracking
dude.
this Stuff, like basically my whole life since the Iraq War, my whole life has been entrenched in the politics of these things. And then all of a sudden, some retard goes to the internet and says it was Israel the whole time.
Hey, I've been a
I'm not talking about you.
even before I was
I'm talking about higher profile individuals who are going on big shows and being like, it's actually Israel the whole time. And I'm like, hold on there a gosh darn minute. We had a major conflict with China over the Nicaraguan canal. That was not Israel. But the Israel people don't read at all. They never read. They see a meme online about a rabbi, and then they say a nasty thing about the oil, and they're like, well, now I'm angry. I'm angry for this reason. And I'm like, you are allowed to hate Israel. That was always allowed, but the love of God. You talk to me about Panama. You talk to me about Greenland. You talk to me about Taiwan. You talk to me about...
It's
Wait,
worth
how many
it's,
states?
hold on, it's worth noting that like the entire pause, right? The entire time between like 2001 to 2010, everybody was saying that the war was for oil. It was all about just getting the oil. It's all about the oil.
No blood
And
for
now, no blood for oil. And now the modern thing that's going on is all wars for Israel. And it flipped. That was a
No,
real change.
I know what you're talking about. But at the same time, also, if you remember, a lot of people were saying that Bush did 9/11, and now a lot of people are saying
People start saying Bush did 9/11.
now they're saying now they're saying Israel had a hand in
Yeah,
that.
that's what it's retarded. Saudis are being sued over their involvement in 9/11, and they were protected by the U.S. government. Why? Because we have the petrodollar contract with Saudi Arabia, and we don't want to lose. Basically, it functions like this. Saudi Arabia, one of the largest oil producers in the world next to Venezuela, agrees that if anybody wants to buy from them, they have to use U.S. dollars, which means China has to buy U.S. bonds, U.S. dollars before they can buy oil. So when the Saudis are implicated in 9/11, the U.S. says, we're going to cover this and protect you. However, they weren't able to completely, and there's an active lawsuit ongoing over Saudi involvement.
I was
And the
gonna
reason
explode.
why these people are being protected is because Donald Trump is desperate to re-up the petrodollar contract, which ended, I think, a couple of years ago. Which means China and Russia are going to start trading in other currencies, and they already have been doing this. And so the response, the Iran war, we predicted it a long time ago. We talked about it endlessly. When the petrodollar contract with Saudi Arabia ended, I said, we are going to get a Middle Eastern war right now. It's going to be largely at their behest. Indeed, because we have to get back on this contract, otherwise the U.S. economy crashes. And so
Dude, how many fucking things do they
by all
have,
means,
bro?
criticize their
You
ideology,
can't. There's
criticize their
38
government.
Fucking
states
hell,
that have
man.
anti-BDS laws. They're passing.
How many things do they have?
Against the
Now
First
tell me
Amendment.
about any of the other bills
Yep.
they have that are comparable for other
How
countries.
many states have anti? You can't say anything about.
Dog revive me,
How
bro.
many?
How many? You don't know?
You tell me.
You made the point, so you tell me what the states are doing.
You tell me because you don't know. None of them exist.
No. You don't understand how this works.
Quantum
There
voltage.
If you make
Shut
a
up.
point and I ask you to
There
elaborate on
are
it, and you
zero.
can't.
There are zero states that have. You can't criticize China laws. Correct?
You're sure?
Correct.
You made a point. I'm
Yes.
asking you to
Dude, what
elaborate.
is this bullshit?
That's correct. There are 38 states that have anti-BDS laws. Are you kidding me? I thought this was the country of free speech. I thought this is the country of free association. They make it so that if you
I need a fucking revive.
you cannot protest Israel. You can't boycott. Spread the word.
If you work in the government,
That's correct. If you're a government contractor.
Oh, about to die.
Oh my.
That's correct. That's correct. You can't boycott Israel.
I
Right
disagree
when
with
I
that.
switched to my fucking.
So that's why
RPG.
people, you can't just be like, oh, people are just crazy.
No,
They're
they
just,
are, though.
They're, no, hold on. You can't just be like, oh, they're just seeing
Fucking
Jews
RPG in
everywhere.
close quarters, dude.
There
Nah.
are literally laws that protect Israel in a way that don't even protect Americans.
Look at this fucking piece of
Look
shit.
in Texas, okay? There's a little tiny city of San Marcos, which is so small, okay?
What kind of fucking spawn beacon is that, dude? Like,
San Marcos Bezos was going through their budget, they realized, holy shit, we're giving this much money to Israel. It wasn't a huge amount because they're tiny. And they go,
Oh
"You know
my
what? We don't
god,
want
what was
this. We don't wanna
that,
do that."
dude?
So we object. You know what Governor Abbott said? We're going to withhold any funding from you if you do that.
Sounds like a Texas thing. So
It's not just here.
So the point, we don't disagree on that issue. The issue is, you've identified a circumstance which is objectionable, and then extrapolated all other foreign policies to this.
That check the answer I asked the chat. It says there are no U.S. states with laws that prohibit speaking critically about Chinese. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution protects freedom of speech, including the right to criticize foreign
That's not
governments.
BDS though.
So I
That's
read
not
the story. Yes, there are 38 states. It tells you, and the reason you can't criticize China because of the First Amendment. 38 states. You can't speak critically about Israel. So, sorry, Kim, I didn't want to waste time with this.
BDS is relating to government contracting with Israel.
I'm sorry if I don't like the erasure of American freedoms, freedom of speech being the number one, because I'm a fucking comedian, and there is shit that they canceled me for, not about Israel, other racial jokes, right? And people actually feel like if I say something that offends their sensibilities, they have a right to physically attack. Now you tell me how we're supposed to go forward as an American country with
just fucking
freedom of speech and liberty
infinite
when you
bullet in me,
literally
dude.
are training 50% of the
Holy
population to
fuck,
think that
dude.
violence is a
So I said all the
perfectly
sites I have
carry a
are
gun.
like 0.5 and 0.25. Can't even fucking see my own.
What violence are you referring to? I missed that. Sorry.
I've made jokes that piss people off, and I've literally had people send me death threats. They will come to my show and they're going to kill me.
You're a lightweight.
Perfect!
You're a fucking lightweight.
I know you said that, but what I'm saying is,
think the Ukrainians
so
think
that's happening on a
Holy
level
fuck,
of
there's
social
7,000.
But then our own government is actually passing laws.
Someone on a
Yeah,
tank
dude, there's
map.
7,000.
Yeah, they
there are,
get like
there are
100
people in
kills.
government that are
Nice, dude. This fucking
stepping
faggot
over
doesn't
the
even not
line
see.
when it comes to things like, you know,
Yeah, and fuck, this fucking piece of shit won't move ahead.
Lock break him so
any
he
of
can't
those
back up.
laws, any regulation about what people are allowed to say. Those people make all there is difference between when there's
Is he blown up?
laws and stuff that you're talking about that people
Oh, he is?
I think the Ukrainians have been controlling everything. I mean, if you ever have to think about it, we've given okay, so
Oh, that's not good.
more money in 2 years than we give Israel.
That's not good, dude.
I just see the
Holy
fucking
fuck.
tank. I just see your tank become like see-through.
Waving
It's like, oh.
Ukrainian flags in our Congress.
I thought he would have detonated the mines,
You
but
literally don't care.
I
Like,
guess,
members of Congress are flying
This
Ukrainian
doesn't
flags.
fit with my paradigm of reality, so I'm gonna just leave it.
So it just doesn't happen.
Oh, so you're a liberal now.
Yeah.
It's all
There
connected.
you go. We flip right here on that.
The liberal order just wants the whole area.
Nice.
So you're
No,
wrong
because
because you don't read. There are actually several states that have comparable anti-BDS laws for China. Indeed.
Yeah, okay, where are they?
So let's start with Texas. Texas.
Wait, he was right in
prohibits,
front of me?
Companies that from working with companies like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, specifically.
Prohibits
oh, dog, the fucking thing was right in front of.
anti-BDS law, Tim. Stop being disingenuous.
No. Okay. If you're so you're saying.
Alright, let's see this fucking retard strat. Alright, shoots a fucking useless missile. Alright, now he's reloading.
To do business.
Nice.
The point that I was addressing
Now
was.
another useless fucking rocket. Amazing. Another useless rocket. And he gets killed by a grenade.
It depends, I think.
No.
I think it depends. I think
So
it
no
really
freedom.
depends.
No
No,
freedom.
no. Hold on. This whole thing with should a person who has land
Shoots 3 fucking RPGs, gets killed by a
Chinese
grenade.
investor who wants to come in and build
Holy
a
fuck,
freaking
dude.
Muslim thing for some reason.
Dude, with
subvert
teammates
India,
like
do that?
these, dude.
Fucking no. You
Oh
shouldn't.
my god.
But your government should not be able to tell you that you can't protest a government. There's a difference.
but it's not for everybody. It's just
Alright, let's see what he does now.
I think a lot of that stuff came about
And he's
with
dead.
This guy fucking
Harvard, etc.,
Infinite
accepting
bullet in me,
government
dude.
grants and also
Instantly
having
dead.
massive protests
Which I like.
on their campus.
I'm in
Leading
total.
the violence, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm in total agreement with you that.
Right, so he decides to spawn at D. Alright, he's got his knife out like a fucking faggot. Alright, let's see what he does. Oh, he's running a bit faster. Oh, he means business. Let's see.
Like pro preventing like communists from coming to the U.S. I really
Nice, dude. What was the plan there, dude?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he is a.
I actually don't think he is.
Nice. So what happened, dog?
It's like raising the taxes on the poor. And like,
Alright, and I'm dead already. Amazing.
I think it's red.
you know, no, maybe, but it's having the inverse effect of like.
Nice.
He's
And he's going for the revive, and he's...
always ends up destroying the poor.
Yeah, it's the red.
Fuck
It's the red.
that, dude.
To my point, here's the thing: there aren't even equivalent laws for government contractors.
All right,
to be able
he's
to protest
spawning by D again. He's got the knife out, dude.
There's all kinds of stuff where like when it comes
Okay, but you think that's why would we all of a sudden have
Oh, dude, you almost died again.
this one
there
country?
shouldn't.
So-
Like
so
I
guys,
said, I
that
agree with
falls
you. I don't
within
think
the-
there should be special. There should be
Bro,
special prohibition on people that
We
want to
fucking
support,
cooked,
like,
didn't we, dude?
boycott domestic.
I will say very plainly, I've never agreed with these laws. I've criticized Florida when they were putting these things out.
Damn, dude, 23 and 20.
The U.S. government is mandating U.S. people support their military operations. And you've inverted it.
Hold on, because if that was
Amazing.
true, then you would have similar laws for private contractors who have a government contract to not be able to protest.
Yeah, there's no big movements at universities to boycott Ukraine.
And there
but,
are.
but this is also about.
So they don't need that.
There,
Okay,
and when it
okay.
comes to when it comes to government, it is honest to say that when it comes to
Whoa.
government employees, there are different rules to have contractors. And now again, I don't think that Israel should be singled out to be protected, but
It's the
it
only
is-
country.
it
They
is-
don't even have it for this own country, for our own fucking country. You want to say, oops, sorry.
Right. But again, that still falls in the framework of they are a puppet state for the United States. They were a vassal created by Western powers.
that is
Is it Israel
Whoa.
specifically, or is it?
inverting
Are these
reality, man.
horses?
Are these
Totally
laws
inverting
Not so-
Israel
not so-
specific, or
I'm gonna
are
say
they
this
No,
as-
they are
broader into
Israel
Jewish?
specific.
I'm
They're
going to say this
Israel
as
specific.
derisively as possible to everybody. The problem we have is you don't read, you have no idea what you're talking about. So when I bring up something like the Qatar-Turkey pipeline, for instance, you don't know what that is.
No, I don't know what the Qatar
And
Turkey
you are
pipeline
so
is.
damn sure that reality is the way you've seen it without reading a single book.
Whoa. First of all, I read a lot of books.
But not the ones that matter on foreign
and
policy.
And they might be about, having sex with an anthropomorphic bull, but it doesn't matter.
Women do love
Say that word again?
Anthropomorphic bull.
No, bull.
I don't think you read that book.
No, I definitely didn't read that book. But I do read a lot, but there's a lot of books to fucking read, okay?
Yeah, but there's the news.
Yeah, but the news is full of shit, and
Yes,
you know
but if you were
it.
tracking the news over the past 20 years, you're reading things like WikiLeaks, and you're reading the emails these people are
I
writing.
am reading things like WikiLeaks, and I
Indeed,
did.
and then you would know about the true motivations of the
And then
military-industrial
I
complex
did
in the Middle
actually
East.
read. That's why I knew about how fucked up India was. Sorry again. That's how I knew about how messed up India was before anybody did, because I read WikiLeaks and I happened to stumble across 3 emails that describe one of the worst cultures in existence. So I do read. And I'm sorry I can't read everything about every possible problem.
No, just
that we're
Israel,
having.
just literally.
But
Read
literally,
something about foreign policy.
no, I do read a lot about Israel. That's why
So tell me why Israel wanted that.
I don't know. That wasn't that.
Wait, what? That makes no sense. Israel controls the government.
Hold on. I didn't say everything matters. Don't put me in a position that.
Oh, no.
So what percentage of what we do is based on Israel?
What we do in the Middle East
No,
is
just in
based on
general,
Israel.
all the things we do, what fractions of it?
I don't know what fraction makes up of everything we do. I don't think everything we do is based on them. I don't think every intervention is war we've had is based on them. But I do think a lot of our activity, specifically specifically, yes. I mean, because it's their enemy. They're the ones who don't want Iran because they feel uncomfortable.
Holy
They
fuck,
think
that's
that
fucking wrong.
Iran's going to attack them, and they want to get rid of their enemy because they want to.
So there is a real ideological reason Israel. Do you know it?
What I know, it's like the whole Muslims want to kill us.
No,
and
it's
why-
actually this specific.
No, maybe I don't.
Dude, what the?
Again, this is the issue I have of people.
Nice.
Like, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you the answer. But I'm going to make this point first. You didn't even bother looking up what Israel wants to do.
Like way up on the mountain.
Because Iran's funding Hamas. It's because there's supplying weapons.
Holy fuck! How many fucking shells, man? God damn, bro.
Israel wants to secure the entire state as a singular Israeli area. They don't want there to be a Palestine, West Bank, or otherwise. Not our business. Indeed, because the U.S. uses Israel as a base for the control of the Suez.
Okay, so the U.S. uses Israel to control, but Israel is accomplishing what it wants.
I have to raise my fucking gun even though he hasn't
Just
moved.
like the U.S. is involved, before Trump, the U.S. was spent $250 billion on Ukraine for the purpose of protecting European countries who weren't spending their own money to do it. And it's so that we could control gas prices for Europe. I don't think that Donald Trump is secretly running the U.S. government, though, because Donald Trump says, or our president, be it Obama or otherwise, there are different strategies for how we police the world for the liberal economic order. So when Russia invades Ukraine for the purpose, indeed, and the problem people have with the U.S. empire.
When did you come up with bag it horrible?
Yeah, we go to Afghanistan and we put up murals of gay communism, and they get mad about it. And rightly so. Russia invaded Ukraine for many reasons. One was that the U.S., the Western powers of Europe, were trying to seize control because the Hunter Turkish pipeline failed.
Bag it
They were
horrible.
trying to control natural gas in Ukraine, which would
Oh my
lock
god,
down
you just got
Russia's
absolutely fucking
monopoly gas
shizered.
market. This is why Joe Biden sent his son to go work for Burisma, and they get Mykola Zlochevsky to start an energy company in Ukraine. It's all about controlling the region. The reason why Russia invaded first, it's because their only warm water port is in Sevastopol. Now, some people have argued they could easily build along the eastern coast, but that would be that you're telling them abandon your billion-dollar naval base where your flagship is and all of the military assets and secrets behind it to NATO, or take control of Crimea. So Russia never invaded Crimea. They simply walked out the front door and then said, we're holding a referendum, which was probably illegitimate. The reason the war started, when Donald Trump was in office, there was no war because Trump was basically saying to Russia, we're not going to go to war with you. You're not our biggest concern. Under the Obama administration, that was their biggest concern because Homeboy was paying off Iran and then pissed off that Russia was charging money to Europe. So as soon as Joe Biden gets back in, what do you think happens? He starts, first of all, you get more terror in the Middle East because they want the instability to remove Bashar al-Assad. Then you get Russia building up troops on the Eastern Front because they are on their Western Front, Ukraine, because they know what Biden wants to do. And then they invade for the purpose of securing the land bridge so they can maintain control of their warm water ports. Which they
Fucking
have to use
helicopter
if they want to
pilot, he
sell
just
oil
crashes
to
into
the
me.
Mediterranean,
Dumbass.
Ah, yeah.
Was that you?
Yeah, dude, of course.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, yes! I fucking did it finally, dog.
What?
Took out the pilot with a headshot.
Oh shit. Got fucking dead by another helicopter. Amazing.
So is it not a coincidence that every one of these wars is for the benefit of the petrodollar system?
I didn't say that we're not getting a benefit from it. I didn't say that.
Okay, are they threatening the petrodollar system?
Sure.
So the U.S. would do this with or without Israel?
I don't think so, because I think we would have a different kind of negotiating power if they don't feel like, yes, we will.
Was Trump negotiating into Crimea so they can maintain control of their warm water ports, which they have to use if they want to sell oil through the Mediterranean, through the Red Sea, etc.
I got it.
Jews had nothing to do with it.
I got it. My point is that the majority of our involvement in the Middle East is on the doesn't matter which president we have, we keep getting wars in the Middle East. Trump ran on a campaign that said, no new wars. We're not going to war with Iran. He was telling Netanyahu, don't do this. And what do we get?
So is it not a coincidence that every one of these wars is for the benefit of the petrodollar system?
Oh, I didn't say that we're not getting a benefit from it. I didn't say that.
Okay, are they threatening the petrodollar system?
Sure.
So the U.S. would do this with or without Israel?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I think we would have a different kind of negotiating power with them. They don't feel like, yes, we would.
Was Trump negotiating with Iran?
Dude, you gotta be a fucking elite kind of faggot to go on fucking mountain.
Basically destroying their country with gay race communism revolution sponsor.
Yeah, but that's Western Marxist system.
Behind us.
You want to get into where Marxism comes from? Do that too.
You mentioned that many of the early thinkers on transgenderism were Jewish, sure, but again, this here we go. What? Because
Listen, let's move on, because Ron's he's checked out. He was here under the pretext that
Left leg that goes down now. It says all the way up to
I'm
both
sorry,
ass
we
cheeks.
can't, because the next story we have is Lindsey Graham saying he stands with Israel. Let's roll. We got this clip that's going viral. I'm gonna play it for you right now.
Holy fuck, dude. I'm fucking James Bond. Holy shit.
So here's the problem with what he said. First of all, what did he say? Seminites?
Yes, he was slurring. It's crazy.
I have no problem with saying go F off. But isolationism is just an opinion. It's an opinion that Americans are allowed to
Fucking
have.
Claymore,
So
dude.
when he adds that to the mix, it's not about whether someone just hates Jews. Because by all means, you can criticize those people and say, I'm not going to stand with you. But when someone is an isolationist, even the most extreme of isolationists, that's something Americans are allowed to be. It's not hateful or otherwise. It's a thought.
What a
it's a
fucking
philosophy.
faggot,
To
dude.
say you're not going to stand with Americans of opinions that you don't agree with, and you'd rather stand with a foreign country, I think is reprehensible. I do not like Lindsey Graham. I think I don't for the life of me understand how they don't primary this guy and get somebody else in. And I think to all the people, because I criticize him and said he should be removed from office, and there are a lot of Jewish people who are like, no, you need to really listen to what he's saying. No, you need to check your PR because this guy is bad.
Someone please take out the fucking helicopters, man.
And, everybody agrees, so there we go. And you agree, and this is where we all agree.
No,
You like Lindsey Graham.
I like Lindsey Graham. I like when it's so fucking blatant like that. So we've got a homosexual, probably pedophile being blackmailed by our greatest out. I like that.
I got you.
Hey,
He's not being blackmailed.
What if it's in the
listen to me. I like when it's obvious that this alcoholic, what's probably fondled, brilliant Hollywood,
Ryland Hollyham?
I can't. Rising L's together in his name. Don't ask me to pronounce that. I like when he lets out his little closet boy toy to come out and talk sometimes. So it's so obvious because it's harder when they're more, you know.
The
skilled.
secret to there was a Marco Rubio quote. I think it was Rubio. Someone yelled at him that he was funded by the NRA, and he said, "They don't pay me to speak. They donate to my camp because they like what I speak." And this is the truth. Working in like working for ABC, for instance, ABC News and like these big corporations, they don't go to people and say, "We're going to pay you to say this."
Nice.
Before they hire the person, they say, "What do you think about Israel?" and then hire them because they support it. The point is, they're not like Lindsey Graham. He lives and breathes for them. That's why they donate to him. You know what?
What?
YouTube docs I don't know about.
I don't know. I pedal in that end up being true. So, you know,
The
didn't
reality is
have,
most
listen,
conspiracies that for the past 10 years have turned out to be true.
I didn't really have any facts about why I didn't want to take the shot. I just saw a Jew movie. I was like, no thanks.
I hope I'm Jewish. I just want to find out. I'm saying that.
Well, first of all,
It's a reformation.
you're too
Dog, I gotta repair the plane.
That's right. Ian is a strong Viking.
At least Scottish.
I wish I could run a fucking downtown.
You can't. Once you mix, it's like you don't even know. I could be.
And that's why it's a sin against God.
They might, actually. So Koreans are racial supremacists. They think they're the superior.
No, they like Jews. They think that the Jews
Over 3.5 years, and yeah, there was always the argument: who's better better in the Asian culture, Japanese, Korean.
No, Koreans think they're better than
Korean.
everyone. Koreans, it's sort of in modern history, but typically Koreans have been racial supremacists. Like, if you are in Korea, it is not atypical to see an older Korean say that they are the superior race. Period. Of all races.
Yeah, her parents, both mother still can't speak English, and yet she had a bit of attitude. She didn't really appreciate me very much.
And Japanese are also relatively racially supremacist. And,
Okay, sorry. Should be racially
World War II.
supremacist. It's
Gotcha.
healthy. It's healthy. I'm sorry. Do you love your family more than other families? Don't be gay on the corner over there.
He's going to talk about Romans of the community.
Stop being gay.
I love your hair.
Did you have kids?
So, for instance,
Do you have kids?
if in order to
Do you
save
have
my
kids?
no.
Hey, Rocker over there. Do you have kids?
Negative.
No. So that's
If
why.
in order to save my family, I have to destroy my
You
community.
love your kid more than anybody else, yes?
Oh, yeah, I would massacre people.
Okay.
It's not even a question.
Thank you. Do you have kids?
No, absolutely not.
Gay.
Do you have
Did
kids?
you see the thing that...
Yes. You love your kids more than anybody else?
Absolutely.
That's a healthy, normal fucking reaction.
Do you have kids?
So it can
No.
be taken.
Did you see
I'm a
the...
fucking former retarded liberal. Of course not.
Did you see what Tucker said? Where he was talking with Huckabee, and Huckabee said, well, you know, they're trying to rescue their children. You know, what would you do if your children were being held by Hamas? And Tucker said, I would kill you. And he got criticized for it. Now,
I would annihilate everyone and their fucking mother.
That's not good. That's the problem with people and their self-absorbed reality. They are willing to annihilate everything on Earth to remain on top. It's not You're talking about destroying the planet.
What is it? Ian? Ian, sorry. It's not my fault. I do
That
like
was
you.
cool on the last scene. Oh,
We're not talking about
what up?
pain on top of the top. I meant if like, look, if the choice was between you don't have kids, you get it. If it's my kid's gonna live, or this other one's gonna live, it's a hard choice. But every parent knows
Fantastic Four, the new one.
Then there will always be war and everyone will consume each other.
You are intentionally misunderstanding the point. If you were to destroy the planet, you would be killing your own child as well.
So at what point is it, how much waste are you willing to lay to preserve your own species, your own society?
My point was, you loving your own kid more than other kids is and you should feel that about the idea that, oh, I should be
course,
this
he knows
is
more.
this is a white, Western,
Name a country, ethnic majority, that does what we do in the United States or Europe. Is China allowing other races and ethnics into their country to take control of their businesses and institutions? Well, recently they opened up. My point is, this is a phenomenon of white cultures in Europe and the United States. Southern, northern, and western, but the Eastern Europe
It's
are
nice
like
that my
Eastern Europe, because they
missiles are out of
survived
range
gay
when
versus
I'm
communism
able
once,
to see them.
and they're
So
like, nope, we're not
Nazism.
doing that again.
that makes sense.
There's a
whatever.
funny meme. It said it was a 4chan meme where they were like, white men make up less than like 6% of the global population or something like this, and we are told in America that the Chinese people, despite there being 1.3 billion, of them are the minorities.
Yeah.
Substantially more Asians and Indians than white people, but they're the minorities. No other country does that. And so, at a certain point, you have to recognize white people are doing this. But it's true. I mean, by all means, you can say there's a bunch of problems for it, but why is it that it's only countries that were predominantly white that open the doors and create these policies?
I know what you're thinking.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking it's the Jews. It's not.
So they're not doing it in China.
They're not doing what I'm trying to say. I kind of tune out sometimes. You say like a lot of words,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, this is
That's
like when a woman talks, I guess, for men, like your head just starts.
Well, I imagine that's how women feel when words are too big.
I don't think that's my issue. I use
You guys can switch spots, and then we'll go have a drink. Just let us know when you're done.
No, it's the way you say it. It's not what you did, it's the way you go. What you were trying to say again, what were you saying?
Why haven't the Jews like done this to any other country?
Oh, that's easy. They don't, they don't see them as a threat. What do you think? They need
Jews don't like white people.
Do you think that Jews need to subvert Africa? They just have
No,
to
but maybe
they just
Koreans.
have to let Africans loose.
Why not Korea or Japan?
Yeah, why not China?
Well,
I mean, yeah.
I don't think they're a threat. I don't think
The average IQ
no
in China's
offense to
fairly
the 20. Yeah, no, but they're not really doing anything.
Jews, well, I think it might be the banking industry, and some of them are Jewish.
Banking industry.
Yeah, like,
I agree.
the Rothschild family was the biggest banking
Okay, I'm
family,
gonna
but
say
then
this
there's
again.
other banking families
We've
that
been over
aren't
this.
Jewish.
No, I agree with you. By the way,
They're Irish even. The CEOs, but not the owners. CEOs.
I don't think it's.
Well, the owners are behind the scenes making the money for everything prior. So,
People who are running the day-to-day, so you're saying that the Jews secretly control the Irish.
well, the bankers will hire whoever.
Dog.
is good for the
Can we,
job.
Most of them are publicly owned.
Can we bring some racism in so we can get John back?
We'll participate.
You can stream whatever you want.
Why don't you like brown people?
Let's talk about crime.
Oh.
Fucking done with that piece of shit game, dude. I'll be back in a sec.
Islamic terrorists are living in houses like this, while many Americans
Start the stream,
can't
dog.
afford rent.
Nice.
So they obviously like stormed these two guys'
I don't see the
houses,
goddamn street.
and this is one of the houses. This is a like a
Never mind, I do.
$1.7 million
Nice, man.
basically mansion. I mean, this house is gigantic.
Dog, I just made
This
a
is huge
mistake.
house.
Good morning. On Saturday, a protest was held outside Gracie Mansion, where I live with my wife Rama. Neither of us were home at the time. This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first
And
Muslim
then somebody who was Islamic threw a bomb at them. But you're not going to mention that.
mayor of our city.
And I think it's important that he mentions that he's the first Muslim mayor of the city. I think that it's very obvious that there is a certain subset of Muslims that are in America and in Western countries that try to actively downplay any instance of bad behavior that Muslims do, and then immediately play it off like it's something else, or try to cry Islamophobia or some other variation of that. The most ironic
Approach
and
any
funniest
chicks,
thing
dog?
about this is that we have a bigger issue with like radical Islam and this terrorism shit than countries in the Middle East do. They're worried about
The main
sending
place I
their
go
people
outside is for
up to
Tino's.
Europe because Europe has more radical people than they have, and they're the Muslim countries. So this
Anybody
entire
there, though?
idea that it's Islamophobic to go
There's
after
the-
these terrorist people is insane.
The chick that always has her hair in a ponytail.
Of New York City.
Kind of like not ginger, but
I'm the
very
first Muslim
light
mayor
brown.
of our city.
Yes.
Probably
Anti-Muslim
likes black
bigotry is
dudes,
nothing
though.
new to me, nor is it
Why-
anything
why'd he
new
say
for the
that?
1 million or so
Well,
Muslim New
for
Yorkers
one,
who know this city as
when
our
white
home.
chicks
So this is basically
like
what
black
happened,
dudes,
is
they
that
always have their
somebody
ponytails
somebody
really
did a
tight,
protest,
like
and then
like
someone
skin
else
tight.
threw a nail bomb into the
And,
protest
just the
while
way she
screaming
talks.
Allahu Akbar, and they
How'd she
were
talk?
inspired by ISIS, which is a Muslim terrorist
I
group.
can't do it.
And then the Muslim
she
mayor
talks
comes up and he talks about how
like
terrible
a
it
white
is
person that
that
wants to be
people
black. Not
don't like
really
Muslims.
obviously, but it's there.
Can you believe this? And also, if I take a step back, this isn't helping Muslims. It's not. It's just making everything worse. You don't lose anything by condemning people that are openly trying to throw bombs around and speaking and playing English about why they're doing it.
While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed
He's
to
defending
happen.
terrorism? Yes.
Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone.
So you should have just started your speech like that. It would have been fine.
I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all.
Yes.
But a few did not. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism.
Yes.
There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim,
bombs,
or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody.
And you can see how he never even talks at all about the intent or the reason why the bombing happened. He had no problem saying that Jake Lang was a white supremacist that was anti-Muslim and that he's a Muslim and Muslims get a bunch of hate in America. And the thing is that, like, you never connect these two things, that a lot of average reasonable people see this and they look at this and they say, why is Zoran sweeping for Muslim terrorism? Why is he trying to downplay this? Why is he spending more time talking about why Jake Lang is bad than why the people that did this threw the bomb? It's obvious. And in my opinion, the reason why is because he's a Muslim too. I think that's the reason. I think that he's sharing ethnic and also religious solidarity with them, and he's protecting their actions. I think that's what he's doing.
Devices they brought taken off of our streets.
These people put their religion above the country. And this is a huge component of what's going on, is you have people, there are some people who put their country over their religion, and you have other people that put their religion over their country. The people that put their religion over their country and end up on the side of terrorists should not be in America, period. They should not be in America at all.
I want to commend the officers who were on site. They faced a chaotic situation that very quickly could have become far more dangerous.
This is true. The officers are absolute fucking heroes. Like, I can't believe, like, they threw a bomb and this guy just ran after him. Like, that was insane.
NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards and Sergeant Luis Navarro ran towards the danger so that others could run to safety.
Yeah.
They are here with us now, and I want to thank them today publicly as I did yesterday privately, and to thank the dozens of other officers who responded without hesitation. That is courage, that is selflessness, and I'm deeply grateful to both of them and to every member of the NYPD who works every single day to keep New Yorkers safe. As the NYPD continued their investigation yesterday, they found a third suspicious device in a vehicle on East End between 81st and 82nd Street. Out of an abundance of caution, they conducted a number of limited evacuations of nearby buildings before removing the device from the area. Once the device was removed, those evacuated were allowed to return to their homes. I am grateful for their continued work to keep New Yorkers safe. And let me say this plainly. Anyone who comes to New York City to bring violence to our streets will be held accountable in accordance with the law.
Yeah.
As this case continues to develop, I will remain in close contact and communication with our police commissioner. I want to say thank you once again to everyone who acted on Saturday to protect their fellow New Yorkers and to uphold the values of this city. Now, I would like to invite Police Commissioner Tisch to say a few words.
Well, there it is. So you've got somebody who's going up there and not saying why they threw the bomb, but spending a minute talking about how bad it is that people are racist against Muslims. I think that next time you're probably going to get a bigger protest, because there's nothing that's contributed more to, your perception of Islamophobia or the negative perception of Muslims than when Muslims inside of positions of power or any degree of influence downplay and try to hide the bad actions of Muslims that are doing something wrong. And I think it's just disgusting. It's completely disgusting. I'm shocked, to be honest, that, people put up with this. I don't know why Americans put up with this. I think that, Americans are just so massively cucked. And I think it's just white people in the West in general are just so massively cucked that they're unwilling to just come out and say very clearly, this is unacceptable. This is Muslim terrorism. Why aren't you saying this? And you should leave your position if you can't say this, right? Which is clearly what it is. But there are so many white people that aren't able to do that because they're afraid of being called a name that they have no problem letting their country be run by literal bombers. These are people trying to throw bombs and kill people, and it's preferable to a white person to let that happen than to be perceived as a bad name. It's just so fucking pathetic, man. It really is. And it only radicalizes people against Muslims. It will. And I think that this definitely, if you think about this event, did Zoran's approach to this, and this is an interesting way to look at it, and I'll see what you guys think about this. Did Zoran's approach to this event increase or decrease the negative sentiment for Muslims inside of America? What do you think? Did it make it go up or down? Because in my opinion, I think it made it go down. Made it go up. It increased it. Yes, exactly. And so that's the main issue, right? Is that you have somebody here who's openly justifying and trying to downplay terrorism, right? Trying to downplay terrorism and doing this. I think it's a huge problem. It also distracted libs from the war. His wife supports the October 7th attack. Well, I mean, if his wife supports it, I think that he probably does too. I mean, that's just probably what happens. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but if I had to bet on it, then that's probably what I would assume. And so, it's who doesn't who has that opinion, right? Some correction increased. Yeah, exactly. I would never, the thing is that for something like this, I would never vote for a person like this. These people shouldn't even be in America, if you want me to be honest. I don't think they should be. I think these people are total fucking terrorist sympathizers. I think that they enable terrorism, they downplay terrorism, and they want to import more terrorism. That what their mindset is, and this is maybe not Zoran specifically, but I think that
no, it's not. It's the
their mindset is to let's import a bunch of terrorists into the country that can be radicalized, and then make it to where you can't criticize them or they'll be radical. So basically, mass migrate a bunch of people over here who are violent, and then say that you can't criticize you can't criticize mass migration because then the people here will be violent. It's absolutely fucking insane that this is happening. And, my negativity is rising. I can see why. I absolutely can. So, Jake is a racist. Yeah, but so is this. This is obviously, and here's the issue, right, is that Jake can be a racist and he can do whatever he wants, but he was the one who was being a peaceful peaceful protester, right? And that's really what matters, is that if you're peacefully protesting, nobody should be throwing a bomb at you. And to the extent that, and think about it like this, right? Is that imagine that you have two groups of people. You have a peaceful protester, and you also have a terrorist that's trying to throw a bomb into a crowd of civilians. And more time is spent trying to demonize and condemn the viewpoints of the peaceful protester than the person who threw the bomb? Do you really think that there is any form of justice, rationality, common sense, or anything with that at all? Absolutely fucking not. So no, I totally reject this. I think that it's completely wrong. So yeah. And racist is the only word used against whites. Yeah, these people are racist themselves. But you're debating feelings because words, not the words themselves. You're debating the feelings words cause, not the words themselves. Well, I'm debating really. I don't know exactly. Rattinger's. Let me pull this up. So he's not downplaying it. Why do you think he didn't mention the fact that? Why do you think he didn't mention the fact that the person who threw the bomb said Allahu Akbar and was connected, inspired by ISIS? And we're going to go through this because I don't know. Okay, let me ask you another question. If there was a Muslim protest and the person threw the bomb and they said white power and they were inspired by the KKK, do you think that he would have told people about what their motivations were? Do you think he would have mentioned that in his speech? Not trying to read his mind. I'm asking you what you think. Like what do you think? 1,000%. Okay. So you've just acknowledged that there is a distinction where he is so why is it? What do you think the reason is that he's not he would be willing to call out a white supremacist but not willing to call out an Islamic terrorist? Why do you think that is? We're going to get there. Votes? You don't think that it has anything to do with the fact that he has the same identity as this person? And also, by the way, does that make it better? I feel like that's just as bad. Yeah, isn't that just as bad? You don't think that there's any own group, no votes in power? Okay. Well, the fact is that I can't really... The thing is that, you know what the truth is? I'm right and I think you're right. I think that he's also doing it for votes too. I think you're probably right about that. But I think to downplay the fact that... And also, like, he's drawing a connection to himself, etc. And it's what he didn't say. Yes, definitely. And also, you're not reading minds so much as judging actions. Actions speak louder than words. Yes, definitely. And Chatter ain't wrong. A white Democrat would have downplayed it as well. You know what? I think that's a great point. And you actually, that is a good point that you're doing. He just doesn't use the words that you want to hear. Well, no, but like, and also I think that there is a huge issue with this happening. Because also, like, if you, let's use second order effect logic here. If losing votes would mean calling out Islamic terrorism, then that would mean anybody that's doing that would probably be a supporter of terrorism that would be a problem in itself, right? And also, he isn't using the words I want to hear. I want to hear when a Muslim terrorist throws a bomb into an unarmed group of civilians, I want to hear that they are a Muslim terrorist and they should be sent to jail forever. That's what I want to hear on TV. And if I don't hear that on TV, I don't want to hear a single fucking thing about the person who they threw the bomb at. That's the thing.
Can you hear me?
What?
Did you have the stream on mute?
Did I have it on mute?
Yeah. Like
oh yeah, I don't have the audio playing
okay,
right now.
I'll just ask you this question. Do you think the left or, I guess Muslims like this mayor would be mad if they made it federal law that if you commit an act of terrorism with any sort of explosive or anything like that, if they made it an automatic death penalty, you think they would get mad? and think that that was like going against a certain group or no?
I think if you ask them that, they would agree, but then
In practice, they wouldn't like
yeah,
it.
yeah, like if it just affected a certain group of people, then they would say, yeah,
Well,
no,
no,
can't.
I'm not even saying for them to wait to see who it affects more. Just like, do you think that they would assume that it would affect a certain group more? That's kind of my question, because like usually it's kind of like the argument with illegal immigration, and then they bring up legal immigrants, and it's like they're conflating two things that we're not even debating. Because it's almost like they can't tell the difference, or they don't want to tell the difference. That makes sense.
They'd probably be angry at it.
And so if you want to talk about that, yeah, I do want to hear that. Absolutely. Because he's actively trying to misrepresent it. They're all politicians, man. I talk to their potential voters, all of them. I get it. I understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, he is enabling terrorism. He's sweeping for terrorism. And I do think that there is an own group bias that's happening. Absolutely there is. And even by your own admission, there's a second order own group bias that's happening, because you're implying that if he criticizes Islamic terrorism, Islamic people will not vote for him, which means that they are exhibiting an own group bias for terrorism too, which is still as big of a problem. So I see what you're saying, but I think you can hopefully see what I'm saying too about this. And it's a huge problem. If it was in reverse, Republicans would do the same. Well, I don't know about that. I have no idea. I think you have to think about it before. And you would want to hear a thing if it's a Christian terrorist threw a bomb into a crowd? Yeah. And all of them left, right, but we should call that out like you do? I do. I'll call it out every time. You know what? I don't like the way you said that, but I don't think that you're bringing up a point that's totally wrong. You're not going to get banned. So those idiots are captured by their narrative. They're not allowed to acknowledge any deviation. That's true, too. I wonder what his speech would have been like if the bomb killed any white supremacists. Well, I don't know, right? I mean, he probably would have still tried to downplay it. And so here's another part of it.
Defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS. As alleged, both defendants have admitted that they acted on Saturday because of ISIS.
Ooh,
as Kayumi
not a
was
good
being
place to
placed
be in.
into an NYPD vehicle following his arrest, a person in the crowd asked why he had done this. As shown on NYPD body-worn camera footage referenced in the complaint, Kayumi responded with ISIS.
Nope.
And at the precinct, after being advised of his Miranda rights and waiving those rights, Kayumi said in recorded post-arrest statements that he had watched ISIS propaganda on his phone and that his actions that day were partly inspired by ISIS.
Yeah, I mean, this is a literal person that got inspired by terrorism. It's pretty fucking simple, honestly. Seems obvious what happened.
The complaint also details statements made by Amir Balat after his arrest. En route to the NYPD precinct, Balat made spontaneous statements without being questioned by NYPD officers that were captured
Big
on
mistake.
body-worn camera footage.
No wonder the bomb didn't go off. These guys aren't good decision makers.
He said, this isn't a religion that just stands when people talk about the blessed name of the prophet. We take action, we take action. As well.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who has this viewpoint needs to be locked up. It's just that simple. Anybody who thinks that criticism of their religion is acceptable to be met with violence needs to be locked up, deported, or removed from public society one way or another. It's not even a question.
Well as, if I didn't do it, someone else will come and do it.
And I think this is true. And there is a huge problem with this. People that think that you can't criticize their ideology, like whether it's, you know, like the ICE people, whether it's Islamic people, whether it's any of these people, any of this ideology is just completely unacceptable, period. And it's shocking to me that so many Americans don't want to call this out exactly for what it is. And we're starting to see a lot more of it happening, which I'm very happy about.
And later, after waiving his rights, he requested paper and wrote a message declaring in part, I pledge my allegiance to the Islamic State, Die in your rage, you kuffar. Now, die in your rage.
Kufar, I think, is infidel. I'm pretty sure.
Rage is a commonly known ISIS slogan, and
Something like
kuffar is an Arabic term that refers to non-believers.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
He also told us to carry out an attack even bigger than the Boston Marathon bombing,
Yep.
which he noted resulted in only 3 deaths.
I don't see why anybody's surprised by this. Yeah, this guy's he's just a super radicalized terrorist.
Do you like
That's
reading
obviously what
nonfiction?
happened.
These statements, it's
Like real stuff?
Yeah.
Now, nonfiction explicitly means true story, or is it just based in reality?
It can be anything that's true. That's like history or.
I don't know if I have, to be honest. Because there was like a book in school that was about a guy and wolves, but I don't. Would it have to be a true story to be nonfiction?
I guess what I mean when I say nonfiction is books on like subjects.
No.
Not necessarily like a textbook, but like I don't know, like a novel on like I don't know, fucking the Japanese Navy in World War II or some shit.
No, like any reading, like any like true stuff, like real world stuff, I would probably just find online. Whether it's like some random website where it has like a database. So I'm more of someone that would look at like the numbers or the strategy or like a date something happened maybe. Like I'd be able to tell you that like the Battle of Lady Gulf happened in 1944, but I couldn't tell you like a true story like in book form.
Do you remember that story you told me about the guy changing a number?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. I don't know why that was so funny. Made me laugh.
Because it's so ridiculous that it's funny.
Yeah. What was it? A 10,000 to a 100,000? Is that what he did?
Yeah, I think it was like 23,000 to 230,000 or something. I believe it was after the Dresden bombings.
Yeah.
Because that was like military and civilian. They didn't really discriminate, and the country was in so much distress and a lot of destruction to where even if it was fake news, they either wouldn't know or wouldn't care.
Are you done?
Yeah. How is he sneezing like that? Yeah, like I'm not really a book person. Like I would just go and look at specific things. Like I would go read that since after World War I, Germany was limited in terms of their military and the size of their ships to where they had to, and size of their fleet to where they had to use dummy companies in Finland to build their coastal U-boats, and they were basically like fakely, if I can't think of another word, like fakely commissioned into the Finnish Navy. And then Japan had to start building the Yamato and Musashi in sort of like massive shipyards where they would cover it up so you couldn't take pictures from the outside, because they weren't really supposed to be building ships like that. Same thing for the Tirpitz. They had to keep lying at commissions because.
What do you know about the Holocaust, dog?
Huh?
What do you know about the Holocaust? Nice.
Well, I don't know.
Why don't you know about the Holocaust?
It's not that I don't. It's just, what do you want me to say? Like, what are you asking?
You can fucking name every goddamn ship in the Navy, but you can't fucking tell me jack shit about the Holocaust. Why is that? Why are you being fucking anti-Semite?
I'm not someone that cares about biological
Whoa,
gases.
you care about Jews, dude?
Nice.
The fuck?
Damn,
Are you
did you call
saying?
Jews biological gases?
Bro, care about all those human lives, dog. You sure there isn't a secret fucking Nazi room in your house, dog?
Nice. If there is, I haven't seen it before.
What does your dad think of the Nazi dog?
Probably the same as most people. I don't know.
Yeah, but what would that be?
That they're bad. Something along those
But
lines.
you think they're cool?
I don't think they're cool.
I don't know, dog. I've heard some things that in the some might interpret it as being a Nazi sympathizer.
Wouldn't you say that how much money Gustavo Fring had was cool?
No.
Nice, dude.
No. You can absolve yourself right now by saying the Nazis weren't cool, dog. Say it right now, dog.
Was Gustavo Fring rich?
You think it was funny when in the fucking movie he shot that woman, dog?
Which one?
And the fucking Nazis shot that woman, dog, who tried to help.
She was trying to make him waste money, right?
I'm asking you, did you laugh during that scene, dog?
Yeah, it's funny.
So a Nazi killing a Jew, funny to you, dog?
It could be, yeah. I wouldn't say by default that it's not.
as set forth.
In the scene where the guy's just shooting into a pile of bodies, dog, did that make you laugh?
Yeah, it made you laugh too.
No, we're not
Nice.
talking about me,
Oh, yeah, we're
dog. We're
talking- yeah,
talking about the
exactly,
white
exactly.
person at the party, dog.
Well, it's my stream, so I get to answer whatever question I want.
Or you're refusing to acknowledge what you've done. Amazing, dude.
Don't really care.
Yep.
Dog, you should just sell your fucking guitar on eBay, dog.
Well, it's not even mine, so.
Well, just fucking sell it, dude. Get like, how much do you think you can get for it on eBay?
Hold on. Probably like 200, 250. It's not really that used, but
That thing is less value than a fucking Star Wars fucking action figure.
yeah.
Bro. People have their fucking priorities straight, man. Like, I feel like it should be valued on.
Canada classified as ultra low fertility nation. That's just fucking lit.
Yeah, I mean,
Should be classified as a retard nation.
oh dude, I blew a fucking load into some tissue, and you can't go a fucking week without fucking wetting the beds. Yeah, low fertility rate. We're fucked.
So UK schools will teach boys how to treat women and girls with respect, but it doesn't say anything about other way around.
Oh well. Over, dude. The experiment is over. Pretty soon, there's gonna be a fucking collapse.
Uber will let women drivers and riders request to avoid being paired with men. But men can't do the same with women. That's fucking retarded. It's funny how there's a civil rights like thing, and then it just goes completely the opposite way. If you even said, "Oh, I want to decline a fucking ride from a woman," they'd fucking set you on fire on the street.
I've used Uber for years. I feel like I could count on one hand the number of times it's been a woman driver. Oh, even Uber Eats. Like a couple times, it's been a chick. Oh, shit.
It's funny because people will read that we're a low fertility nation officially, and no one will care. They think it's just completely normal.
Well, it's happening everywhere, right?
What else is happening everywhere?
Look at sexist motherfucker. Why you just say it, dude?
So you knew the answer.
You know what
that's
you
why
fucking mean? You
exactly.
shit.
Faggot knew the answer.
So what do you want to do? Fucking put women into bondage and slavery? You fucking sexist piece of shit, pig, fucking cis white gender fucking piece of crap. What's the solution, dog?
The solution is what you have said before.
What the fuck have I said? I've said fucking kidnap women and fucking duct tape them. What are you talking about?
Phase them out.
Phase them out? What the fuck does that mean?
Bro, you're the one that said it, bitch.
Well, you're gonna have to explain, because I can't fucking remember. Phase them out. The fuck are you talking about? Killing them?
Nice. Phase them out of the workforce.
How do you do that?
Cut specific jobs and positions.
Okay, so what are you gonna start with? Go ahead, tell me.
Well, I guess it could be done all at the same time.
Okay, go tell me. List the specific jobs, whatever. How are you gonna do it?
And anything other than nursing or teaching. And
what?
Receptionist.
Are you reducing that down to 0%? 0%?
What?
0% for every other thing?
Maybe not 0, because you can still hire some, but I would probably say, I guess if they're like above like 55 or whatever, then I'd be okay. But other than that, no.
Why 55? What are you imagining happening there?
Well, one, assuming their kids are already adults, and 2, so they don't require so much money because through social services, pretty much.
It's been a while since you've done a rant.
Yeah.
Another rant, dog. Must hear the prophet's words. Will you bless them with your insight?
Getting 3-1 in this. They play Boston, they lose to Boston, you lose a tiebreaker to Boston. FaZe at the bottom of the standings right now. You're saying like you see then if they lose out. This in this clusterfuck of all these teams at 3 or 4 wins, they go 0 for it. They could be in the 11th spot.
Bro, imagine we get FaZe and Gentlemen.
Dog, I gotta look smacks.
Yeah, might happen.
Nice, dude. You gonna take fucking meth and all that stuff too?
Bro, these standings are insane.
What's it called?
And
Methanol?
Look at the bottom of these standings. Look how close everybody is. Like except for Optic.
There's got to be some crazy tiebreakers. There has to be, right?
Like
there might be, but I want to. Some of these teams have difficult schedules. So Gentlemen's schedule.
What does that do?
Carolina plays G2 and FaZe next weekend.
I'm thinking of ethanol, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what methanol is.
Vancouver, Vancouver.
Nah, dog. I'm gonna
FaZe got a pretty
mute.
schedule. We'll get to that in a second. Vancouver plays Toronto, Miami, G2, and
Oh,
Falcons. So
it
that's fucking
is,
difficult.
dog.
Huh?
FaZe play.
You know what mewing is?
Carolina, General Mates,
It's
and
the shit
C9.
with your
You
jaw,
gotta
right?
think that they probably will
I
get
think.
minimum 4 wins. If not,
I'm
it
gonna
should be Carolina.
become the
5,
Crimson
or at
Red
least make it
Chin,
5 and 6
dog.
or 6.
Nice, dude.
And
Apparently
then
that actually
Boston is
doesn't
the
do
last
anything
one.
if
I
you're
don't think it's that
already an
easy to
adult.
predict some of these matches, Ben. I don't think you can.
Yeah,
Bro, you
yeah.
can't just
You
predict.
just
like,
gotta
I
believe.
think this team can beat this team, and this. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. I think all these teams can beat each other on any given day.
Gotta fucking
Let's just call it how it is. Like FaZe are getting at least one. The problem with a bunch of other teams, they're playing Miami and G2. And look, maybe they catch Miami and G2 in a situation where they're already seed locked by the time they play them that last weekend. And the match doesn't necessarily matter for the other team. But some of these schedules are crazy, and I will not be surprised if there's a 3-way tiebreaker at fucking like 3 and 8 or 4 and 7. The time of the last fly into this
Nice,
fucking quarter.
dude.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Some of these orgs are looking real dumb for paying like
I just
4x,
wanted
5x the
to
salary.
hear
of
your
some teams.
reaction.
Outside of C9, of course. But like when you're comparing this, like that
The
quote from Money
Carnival
was like he paid X amount per win. Like, bro, some of these teams you're getting paid are not
Why do
playing
you
like how
sound
much
so
they're getting.
depressed?
Yeah, that's true. They're
The
spending so
best
much money, bro.
timeline
and
there is.
They're not really seeing results from it, right? Like that's gotta hurt a little bit, Slay.
Got free health
1 week off after major one. For now,
clean
got free health care
water.
to kill
5
yourself.
weeks into this stage, do you think that some of these teams are just a little bit burned out because they never really got a lot of time off since?
Burnt
They're
out.
playing one match a weekend.
Yeah, well, throughout all your fucking
Crash out, bro. Don't make me crash out.
dealings with doctors and all that shit, have they ever once recommended?
Take this in, right?
Bro, they had a 6-month off season.
We have MAID,
Bro, they don't
which
even
is
do
literally
shit for
medical
half- they literally
assisted
don't do
suicide,
shit.
but we don't have the death penalty for the worst criminals. Does that make any sense?
Where they play 1 to 2 matches a weekend.
That's another thing. People talk about these
I
contracts
never
they
thought
got,
of
bro.
it.
They 6 months of the season, they do
It's
nothing.
a
For
complete
half
and
the year, they
utter
literally do nothing.
insane
Bro, Abe was on our
contradiction.
team for 2 days. He said, "Holy fuck, we're playing so much COD." He was
said that?
mind blown. Yeah, Abe was like, "Bro, we're playing so much. Holy shit."
Yeah,
We play
I
so
mean,
much COD and
It
challenge.
offered me.
yeah. I'm sorry, bro, but hell no.
And what do they play? 2 scrims a day?
2 scrims a day.
2, 3, if
Sometimes 3.
So
They got
let
their
me,
feet up, bro.
let me spin to you guys
Minimum
this way,
effort.
because there's no
Getting paid
break.
cash.
There's no break coming up for these teams, right?
Yes,
This
no.
2-week grind in the
Wait,
event. Like,
what did you say?
what are you doing the next 2 or 3 days?
Have
when
you
these
been
teams are
off
slumping to,
aid?
like, reset the vibes? Are we doing like a team activity? Or are we just not picking up the game?
Fuck
Like,
no, we're getting together.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
dropping the worst.
Because I was
player.
like, yo, that fucking bullshit you dealt with.
new group
Making a
chat.
new
Like one of the doctors would just be like, you know what, Brock?
Hey, and when you're not the worst player on the team, that's the
You're in
best
a lot of
way to
pain
be
here.
in the chat, like,
You
yo,
might
get
want to
rid of this
consider
fucking I'm about to fucking
me
slap
Immediately
this
high
shit.
in that new chat,
That
bro.
is the best
Immediately
way
up.
to do it, though. I'm not
Immediately
gonna lie.
up.
permanently cure
You're typing your name and
everything.
whoever it is. Dopes up.
Yeah, well,
Can we have an intervention with Nub, by the way? Like, can we talk about how now? I mean, we made a nice little comeback this week.
He's a breaking point plant, bro. We've discovered this.
But like, we have to. Like,
Did we make a comeback this
Boston
week?
today? He picked
Yeah, yeah.
Boston today.
He
didn't
picked Boston today, Pat.
Yeah,
And I told him yesterday to not pick Boston on the show. He said Boston. I said, are you fucking
evens
kidding
out.
me?
Even now, even now.
Thank God you're not on our team. We're going against you.
Even now.
Like, bro, like I'm begging.
Bro,
Nub,
we're not
man,
making
like,
a comeback at all.
Bro,
What are
you gotta
saying?
start
We're
a
still down by
Star
50.
Wars lore.
Hey, like I said earlier, a lot of game left.
Y'all see that bottom row, though?
I see that, Don. Don, I see that.
That's the pure
yeah, it's not a bad idea,
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
a
no, no, I don't
very
claim teams like
competitive
that. That's
space
big
because
cat.
there's already
That's
people
big
like
cat.
Star Wars
Big
Theory.
cat, though.
We're picking him for because of Teach.
Yeah, but he's just banned now. He's
Not
banned.
the
Once he
Soundwave,
fucking
but
scammed me on his pick, he's done. He's done.
Gotcha. Banned forever.
Banned forever.
The stupendous wave.
LeBron James on the Cavs first day.
All like
Let's
1,
take a
2,
look,
3,
take a
4,
look at
5
next
mil
week's
subs.
matches here. We got Toronto Koi going up against C9. We got the Riyadh Falcons going up against Miami, and Paris Generates against Optic Texas
Never heard of
on
them.
Friday.
We
I
got
got
2 belters.
yeah, we do. I got Toronto Koi map
Well, you've
first
heard of
series.
Theory.
I got the
Wait, before you go. Cloud9 play them on Den?
I
to
hope not.
like see
Cloud9
that guy
playing
doing
with fucking
lore
Force
videos now,
Control, bro. Like,
reaction
okay.
shit.
Yeah, I hope they don't play him on Den. They shouldn't play him on Den. Hopefully
Yeah, I'd say I
they're
like his
listening to you.
reaction stuff
listening.
more than
If
his
there's a den in the
lore.
series, you're getting cooked more than you normally get cooked.
Falcons versus Miami. I'm gonna go with the Falcons in that one. And then Optic Texas Generates. I'm gonna go with Optic Texas. So Pat, who do you got?
Toronto, Falcons, and I got the Gentlemates with a nice comeback.
You got the Generates.
They got time to make a roster change. 6 days.
We're fucking trolling. Sam, who do you got?
Koi 3-0, Falcons, and Optic 3-0 faster than the Koi series.
Okay. Damn. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, Sam? All 3-0s? We've seen so many 3-0s this year, by the way.
You know what's interesting?
Like low key, like Falcons are. I might be buying at the top.
When other than COD champs, when the team that I follow is doing so good that they're like, let's say they're number 1, but then number 2 is like a 10th place level team. That's how different the skill gap is. And then once they actually go to an event, it doesn't seem like that anymore. It's fucked up, man.
My fucking gentle mates gonna win, dude.
Yeah, they play them on Friday. They play each other.
I'm sorry, but your team is gonna lose.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Top right now. This might be.
Why are
poor
you still
investment,
obsessed?
but
Fucking
I don't know,
Star
we'll see.
Destroyers.
Donnie, who do you got?
Why not, dog?
I'm gonna go Koi and Optic, and for the middle series, I'm gonna go Miami. I feel like
Dog,
Super and
dude,
Ring Core,
like-
they're just hooping right now.
Okay.
You're gonna be
And
making
Benji,
like
who do you got?
50 different Star Destroyers.
3-1. I got Miami game 5. I
All
got
the
Optic
exact same shit.
3-1.
Okay.
But maybe this is the Optic Trap series?
It is.
I think
Yeah,
Miami's
it is
gonna
the
be
Optic
the
Trap
best
series, I don't
series,
know.
bro. They
And
got
it's not a
Nick Lowe.
trap. It's not a trap. Gentlemates is gonna have a bounce back this week.
Let's take a look at fantasy as well. We got Benji.
Bro, I'm gonna crash the fuck out at this.
Benji going up against
I
Dundada.
haven't even checked. I had to.
Let's see.
God.
Healthy, dog.
Yeah, Donnie, you're hooping right now, Dundada. You're hooping right now. It's 9-6 against Benji. Benji, what happened? You got the LA
Yeah,
Thieves
it's
duo.
not
They're
supposed
letting
to.
you down, Ben.
What the fuck?
The LA Thieves deal let me down.
Why do you say that?
That was on me.
I thought you
Oh,
couldn't
good.
sub in on the day. You had to sub in on the weekend, like before
No, you
the
could sub
weekend
in.
No,
started.
you can sub in daily.
Oh,
Mhm.
really?
Let's take a look at my team. Sucks. My team fucking sucks.
Your team's garb.
But I had Jodeci's first pick. I was thinking so good. Dan Ghosty second pick. They haven't won a fucking series. Gentlemen are getting shit on. They're fucking terrible, bro. Just terrible. This is just chalk.
You
it
got
up,
the
bro.
worst player on every team except for Joe Deceives. That's I guess Ghostie's second worst right now, but
I didn't think Dan Ghosty was supposed to be the worst player.
When you picked him, he was pretty good.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Fucking 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's tough. It'd be like that. So I got shit on yet again. 0-4. My
Dog,
team's
you
fucking
can't
garbage.
just
Pat,
fucking
you won
do
again against
that.
Duarte. That's a big
No,
win
it's my
from you,
first
Pat.
win.
Huh?
it's my first
Just
win.
fucking
Oh, this is your first win,
move
Pat?
those
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Oh, that's not
Oh, congratulations, Slade.
nice.
Congratulations.
Okay, I'm gonna
All right,
get
and
off
we
the
got
murder.
Sam Little. Ooh,
Bro.
Sam, that hurts,
Bro.
Sam. Sam, that hurts.
Bro,